This is the Nottoway County Board of Supervisors, February 19th, 2026, 7 p.m. regular meeting. Nottoway County General District Courtroom. Call the meeting to order. Now we have the Blackstone Presbyterian Church Reverend here to lead the invocation.
Let us pray. Gracious and loving God, on the gift of this night, we come before you in honor and in reverence. We pray that a spirit of wisdom, a spirit of discernment, a spirit of civility and peace may dwell upon this room, that, oh God, we recognize that we are your people and that you have called us as your people here in this space. Oh God, once again, may our tongues be discerning and our mouths be wise. Be with us now in these moments. Through Christ we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, everybody's seen the agenda. I do have one change, and then if anyone else, we're going to amend the agenda to remove public hearings number 3, sale of public property, referencing the barracks parcel. That is removed and going to be continued till next month.
Mr. Chairman, I would also request, if you would, if we could, move F presentations. We got the Nottoway Work Center team here tonight. If we could send them maybe behind delegations from the public before the public hearings.
Okay.
That's okay.
All right. I need a motion to accept those two changes.
I'll make so move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Agenda's been approved. You had minutes in your board book. Did anybody have any changes or adjustments to the minutes? November 20th, 25, and January 22nd, 26.
Mr. Chairman, I move to accept the minutes from November 20th, 2025, and the special meeting on January 22nd, 2026.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, okay, carried. All right, we've got delegations from the public. For those that you have signed up, this is not part of the public hearings, so this is just general in regards to our agendas. Supervisors, please hold comments. This is delegations from the public. This is their time to speak. Mr. Garber.
This is my flag. It was hanging on the flagpole when I got here tonight. Ripped, torn, shredded. You stood and pledged allegiance over there. This is a disgrace. Don't you know anything about respect, dignity for the flag? My brothers, they died under this flag. And you people can't even fly one with respect and honor. As usual, I'm disappointed in Nottoway County. I'm taking this flag home and going to dispose of it in a manner with honor and respect that it can't be given by Nottoway County. As usual, I'm ashamed of this county.
Sonny Abbott.
Mr. Chairman, member of the boards, Mr. Bowen, I respectfully request that you see me tonight as a resident of the county and not in any other capacity. It was just about a year ago that I suggested that there seemed to be issues with the numbers being reported by the treasurer. I mentioned it again last month. The treasurer submitted several documents for this reporting period. Included is the investment report from December 31st, 2025 through January 31st, 2026. Listed is a $3 million CD at 4.25% that matured 12/12/25. The maturation date is prior to this reporting period. What happened to the $3 million and the related interest? Not included in the data she submitted this month was the total of all funds in all depositories as outlined in the Code of Virginia. What I believe is even a greater concern are the comments made by the auditor. He writes, and I quote, "There is a reasonable possibility that a material misstatement of the entity's financial statements will not be prevented or detected by the entity's internal control over financial reporting," end quote. The auditor goes on to say, and I quote again, "The county should implement steps and controls to improve its financial reporting process." Now, realizing some of you may find my questions troublesome, please know that I've reached out prior to this meeting and learned that the county's finance person has made several adjustments from how she was originally trained. Does that eliminate the auditor's concerns? What has been accomplished to meet the expectations of the auditor since receiving his report as related to the treasurer? In 4 short months, he'll return to begin the next audit. Will he find the appropriate steps and controls have been implemented? Now, as I head to my seat, months ago, this board asked if I had reached out to the treasurer. Yes, I have. Have any of you reached out? Apparently, I don't think so, since the treasurer still chooses not to follow the code. As I've mentioned numerous times, receiving the total of all funds of record may not be what the auditor was talking about, or was it, in his report. However, having the appropriate controls was, and following the code must be part of the treasurer's responsibility, and other generally accepted accounting principles and sound financial management practices. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Mr. Abbott.
Thank you.
Next speaker is going to be Jed from the 5th District.
Evening.
Good evening.
Evening.
How y'all doing tonight?
Good, good. Hope you are.
As you know, I'm Jed. I'm the Senior Vice Commander of VFW Post 7897, located there in Pickett Park. The folks standing behind me are just some of the faces of the people that you're planning to displace from Pickett Park. These are the residents. We had 2 business owners coming tonight. One was feeling poorly, so I managed to call him off from coming all the way out here, and the other one just chose to go home because she had better things to do. We had other people that were lined up to come out here tonight, but other obligations and the weather, frankly, made them not do it. So I'm kind of glad that it was postponed. But I really do want you to see these faces. You know, they didn't bring their children with them that are going to be affected by your decision. The decision I feel like you wrongly made and are sticking to. And I'm more than happy to provide you with all the information to make you change your mind anytime you want. So, unless anybody else has something to say, that's all I got for this evening.
Thank you all for coming out.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
coming.
All right.
Okay, that was the end of delegations from the public. So I'm going to move on to public hearings.
Mr. Chairman, if we would go to get Nottoway Work
Excuse
Center.
me, we had an agenda change. We're going to go to Nottoway Work Center presentations.
Lucille.
Hi, good evening. How are you all?
Good evening.
Good, how you doing?
I'm Marilyn Hill. I'm Assistant Warden at the Nottoway Work Center, and we are so delighted to be here this evening. I have with me our warden, Warden Goldman, and he'll say a few words, and our Operations Administrator, Destiny Johnson.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, you all.
Good evening, Ward.
Just want to let you know that I'm the warden at Nottoway Correctional Center, Nottoway Work Center. Been there ever since April of last year, so I've been there about 11 months now. Just wanted to put a name with a face and let you know that anything that you need in the county, or if you need any help with anything that our inmate labor can help you with, we'd be more than welcome to listen to you, and we're trying to build good community partnerships and work with your local law enforcement so we can help keep this public safety at the forefront. So if anything I can do for you, if anything that Nottoway Correctional Center can do to help the county, we'd be more than happy to listen and try to help what we can. All right, again, I just want to say thank you, and I look forward to working with my community partners.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for coming out.
Can he build a courthouse? I'm kidding.
Well, I tell you, Warden Goldman, we haven't heard of the Nottoway school, elementary school there in Burkeville. There's a lot of grass out there, so I may be leaning on you guys for that. But anyway.
All right, just give us a call, you get with us, and you can get with Ms. Hill. Yes, indeed, and
Okay.
she will help you and assist in any way we can.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Just want to follow Warden Goldman and say that I've been at Nottoway Work Center since 2015, and we've always had a collaborative spirit with the county. We work our inmates and our staff at your dump sites, down in Pickett, at the Burkeville Fire and Rescue, Town of Burkeville, Town of Crew. We are saving money for the county. We are teaching inmates trades, and it's just been a great relationship through the years. Again, we look forward to continuing the relationship, and we're here to serve. So you all have a great evening, and thank you for having us here this evening.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your jolly spirit, Ms. Hill. Thank you for your jolly spirit.
Yeah, we have 130
That's pleasing.
over there right now, so.
And grass is what we do.
All right.
Good to hear.
Somebody can take that wrong, grass.
Only he would say that.
All right, so that was our presentation from Nottoway Work Center. So now we're going to public hearings. Supervisors, I would ask that you hold your comments till each hearing closes. This is their time to make their presentation. Once the hearing closed, if you have any questions or discussion, then we'll do that, okay? Who's gonna, Greg, you want to introduce Ms. Elzay?
Good evening, Board. Tonight, the first public hearing I have for you is the Or Elzay Guest House Special Exception. I believe Ms. Elzay's here. And this is for a guest house. This property is located on 1375 Lewis Cole Road. And it's map number 30-27, and it includes 100 acres. The Planning Commission held a meeting last month, and as I'll tell you all what I told them, I did not receive any comment or email or phone call from adjacent property owner. The Planning Commission staff recommended approval, and the Planning Commission recommended approval as well with a 9-0-1 vote. One member had to recuse himself. But that's basically, that's it for the staff report. If Ms. or Elzay has anything to say.
We'll have to open, I need a motion to open a public hearing for a special exception on the Elzay Guest House.
I so move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, I see no one signed up to speak on this matter. Is there anyone that missed the sign-up sheet to speak on the Or Elzay Guest House special exception? All right, seeing no one, I'll take a motion to close the public hearing.
House move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any members want to have discussion? Everybody's read it and understands?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve the special exception for the Or Elzay Guest House.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that was 5-0. Special exception approved for Ms. Or Elzay's Guest House. Moving on, special exception, Town of Blackstone rezone to Airport District. Mr. Zodi.
Yes, sir. I should correct that agenda. It should say rezoning for the town of Blackstone's rezoning. This is map number 43-130 in the Pickett Park area, just outside the gates. And the town of Blackstone had submitted an application to rezone this property. I believe it's approximately 74 acres. And it's currently zoned general business and it was recently logged. The town of Blackstone has purchased a property and they wish to put an aviation.
I want to be clear, that property's not closed yet, so
okay.
Nottoway County's still the owner. The purchaser has made this application.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, thank you for the clarification. But it's going from general business to our recently adopted airport district. And what the town, what I was told is the town is interested in developing an aviation industrial park, which that fits the definition to a T, in my opinion, the one that we adopted. Again, as with the previous application I presented to you all, staff reached out to all the adjacent property owners, including FDC, Fred Circle's property, as well as Virginia Tech, everyone who touched it, and staff got no emails. And I did get one phone call from Fred Circle who supported this application. But otherwise, that's it. The Planning Commission voted 10-0 at the January 20th meeting to recommend approval to the Board of Supervisors.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll take a motion to open the special exception hearing for Town of Blackstone rezone to Airport District.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No one has signed up to speak on this matter. Did anybody miss the sign-up sheet and wishes to speak? I'll take a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any discussion among the members?
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the conditional rezoning request for the tax map 43-130.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, special exception, Town of Blackstone rezoned to Airport District passed, 5-0.
Thank you.
We have amended the agenda. We're going now to E4, Budget Amendment, Courthouse Construction Documents.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I'm going to yield to Catherine Douglas on this to introduce it. I would like to tell you and the board and of course the courthouse committee.
Introduce Catherine. Who's Catherine?
Oh, Catherine Douglas is part of our legal team
There we go.
from Elder, anyway. And we have Gary Eldon and part of the other legal team too, Lockerbie is here. So, but anyway, Judge Teefy met with our Mosley architect February 9th. And the original concept we were looking at for the courthouse, I don't think it was really acceptable. What we notice will change is that it's expectations to meet the code that the circuit court clerk needs to be adjacent to the circuit court. And that's the reasons they feel that way, is to make sure there can be a fair trial, evidence can be sent to point A to point B without being damaged and that type of thing. And so this is one of the reasons why we're starting to pull money for the architect. And then I'm going to leave with Catherine with that.
Good evening, board. So,
Good evening.
a couple months ago, the board entered into an interim agreement with English Construction in accordance with the PPEA. And for that, the interim agreement calls for English to provide schematic drawings and work with the judge and key stakeholders in preparing those. And so this reimbursement resolution allows the county to basically repay itself from general funds that it provides to English. It allows the county to repay itself from tax-exempt financing that you guys might choose to receive later on. So that's all this is. It's just a resolution for reimbursement, so.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, I'll take a motion to open the public hearing on the budget amendment courthouse construction documents.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, no one has signed up to speak on this matter. Did anybody miss the sign-up sheet? Seeing none, I'll take a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that passed 5-0. Now we're going to go to E5, Ampliform Siting Agreement.
Do we have to vote on that?
Oh, excuse me, do we need to vote?
Yes.
Okay.
We voted to close.
All right, I'll take a motion to accept the budget amendment.
I so move.
All in favor?
Second. All right.
Excuse me. All, any opposed?
We moving too fast.
That file's on a roll.
Do we need a roll call on that vote? I think our financial advisors has requested for a roll call on that.
Ms. Norton?
And can I explain something to the public? Because they're not seeing what we're saying in front of us.
You want to do the vote and then to
We can do
explain?
the vote and then I'll explain.
Sure. Mr. Toth?
I certify.
I certify. I vote yes. Aye. Mr. Roy?
Certifying.
All right, Ms. Norton, you wanted to have an explanation?
I've had some complaints about the amount, so I want to break down the amount because a lot of you don't see that amount. 10% of this $642,245 statement is 10% is schematic drawings for 60 days, $282,450. Topographic utility and site survey is $38,525. Geotechnical report, $28,125. 35% design development, 90 days, $293,145. 65% construction documents to be added by amendment, giving it a total of $642,225. And this is the first draw, correct, Mr. Bowen?
Yes, ma'am. And I was told, had a conversation in English, they're trying to do the first draw April 1st.
That was an explanation for the previous public hearing. So we're going to do public hearing number 5, Ampliform Siting Agreement. There's about 20 speakers, so we'll still stick with our 5 minutes. It's only about an hour of public speaking, so everybody get 5 minutes.
Mr. Chairman, would you like me to keep the time on the 5 minutes?
Sure.
Okay.
You do it better, not do it anyway. I believe, and we can put them in any order we want. We're going to go, as we call our name, we're going to go against the project, and then we'll go for the project in the second group. That kind of keeps it from breaking up as we go through the topic.
You want a motion to open the public hearing?
Mr. Chairman, I recommend Mr. Mike Lockerbie to
Come on up.
introduce the public.
He's going to introduce the hearing.
Just pretend I'm Mr. Zodi and it'll be close enough.
This is an attorney that's helping the county with solar agreement.
Mr. Chairman, my name is Mike Lockerbie, Honorable Supervisors. I'm an attorney, as the chairman just said, from Spillman's, Thomas, and Battle and Roanoke. I've been retained through Mr. Bowen and Mr. Elder to try to help the county to put together the best legal arrangement that can be done. Whether you think it's good enough, I don't know, but it's the best that I think could be done within the law. I wanted to introduce this to some degree because this is very complicated. I hate to say it's a pretty complicated situation. No one piece of this is terribly out of the ordinary. Putting the pieces of this together, however, is to my knowledge unique. And so I want to make sure that I introduce to you exactly what we're talking about tonight and how that spins off into 2 other areas. Tonight we're here to talk about a siting agreement. Within the Virginia Code and your Code of Ordinances, there are 2 things that somebody needs to get in order to build a solar farm of this size. One is that they need to get a siting agreement, and that the second is that they need to get a special exception permit. So what we're here to talk about, as I said, the siting agreement. That's the very first piece. Virginia Code says that you will have an agreement that you as the locality and the developer of a solar field need to have an agreement. It can lay out a variety of different things. Typically, it's going to lay out land use items that are apart from and outside what's typically in a special exception permit. Special exception permit, it has a very specific function within Virginia law. It deals specifically with land use issues internal to the site, particularly of the zoning and site design type. Siting agreement deals with other issues that can be spun off from that. And and that can be particularly important with regard to a decision like this one. The initial purpose of a special exception is, of course, it's a use that's allowed in whatever district, but only following examination by the elected officials and upon conditions to bring down its impacts. Sometimes, however, there are uses where a special exception permit in the traditional way is not sufficient to address all of the impacts. And that's why the siting agreement comes into play. About a decade ago, when solar fields first became a particular thing that people were asking for zoning for, it became recognized that sometimes there were broader economic impacts. A solar field, for instance, it's going to have an impact on your broader agricultural and tourism economy that is very difficult to quantify, but it's real. And consequently, the General Assembly put into place this siting agreement process, which allows you to put in additional things as well as special variations in order to make a solar project work for your community. Those basic things are additional mitigation members beyond what's allowed in the SEP and capital payments to the locality. In this particular one, the most important mitigation measures that are put in there are decommissioning requirements, surety for decommissioning, and a regular cycle of updates for that surety. Because sometimes a project, a solar farm, 35 years is kind of the over-under on how long people say that they're going to last for. Of course, they've only been going in for 10 years, so who's 100% sure about that? But it's 35 years, give or take, is what people are predicting. So want to make sure that a surety that's calculated today is still going to be sufficient. So there's a regular cycle for updating that surety as time goes on, so that if this goes out of service, you aren't left with, and you are left with an ugly decommissioned solar field that the developer refuses to fix. You have money that you can draw on to go in and do that yourself. Another important piece is requiring insurance requirements and requiring setbacks from blue lines of 100 feet from any blue line or lake, and 25 feet from any delineated wetlands. 25 is actually equal to the DEQ requirement. 100 feet from blue lines or lakes is actually exceeds the DEQ requirement. But I've kind of buried the lead here, Mr. Chairman. The most important piece here is I said to you before, it's impossible to quantify exactly what the impact of a solar field is on the agricultural economy and the tourism economy. But you do the best you can. And consequently, what we've negotiated is assuming that this facility is 100 megawatts, a total of $8 million in payments to the county before it actually goes into service. And that would be in several phases. Not later than getting the phase 3 studies from PJM and deposit with PJM, which is to say after they have done the studies to show that it could interconnect to the regional grid and made their deposit that they intend to connect to the regional grid, they will pay the county $1.2 million. Not later than 60 days after obtaining a building permit, another $400,000. Not later than 60 days after beginning hard costs of construction, $2.4 million. And finally, when it actually goes online and starts feeding electricity into the grid, another $4 million. So that's a total of $8 million. It's actually $80,000 per megawatt. If it winds up being 96 megawatts instead of 100, you can do that arithmetic, how that plays out. I want to talk about what that means as far as the impact on the actual economy here in Nottoway County, because you guys just heard, you were just talking about a courthouse. Courthouse is a very expensive thing. I worked on the financing for courthouses in Halifax County and Botetourt County. Very large bond issuances. It makes you wince. If you can make those bond issuances smaller, it saves everybody a whole lot of money. Let's say that this courthouse all in winds up costing you $25 million. If you have to borrow all $25 million, then you're looking at an annual payment of $1.6 million and some. If you only have to borrow $17 million because you've got $8 million in capital from Ampliform, you're looking at an annual payment of more like $1.1 million. Now, both of those numbers are really big, but that's depending on whether you're at a 4 or 5% rate, you're looking at somewhere between 3 and 4 cents on the tax rate that isn't hitting everybody in the county each year, based upon the debt service savings that you're looking at for doing that. It may be that in the agricultural economy where margins are thin, that potentially has a particularly significant impact. With regard to this, though, I want to make sure and talk also about the performance agreement, because you can't talk about the siting agreement without the performance agreement. There is also a performance agreement, and that performance agreement is in the nature of a but-for. That's not something you're going to vote on tonight, but it is something that you can't forget about while you're voting tonight. The basic concept of that performance agreement is that Ampliform will be granted back its revenue share amount, which over a 40-year life of the project, you're looking at $9.5 million being the probable amount of revenue share that they wind up paying to the county. That will be granted back to them each year as a grant that will make them able to make their deal pencil. Now, it's important to note that that what you're giving up as a revenue stream over that 40-year period is $9.5 million. Your debt service savings, you're looking more in the range of you're looking at 5%, you're saving $15.7 million in debt service. At 4%, you're saving $4.5 million in debt service over that same period of time. In short, you're coming out ahead. You're coming out ahead by something like $4.5 to $6.2 million on this deal. And it will depend on what interest rate you ultimately sell that bond for, but you are coming out ahead by a large amount. And that's why it makes sense to do this deal at all. Obviously, the board might disagree with any of those points, believe that the land use factors can't be adequately compensated for. You might believe that the impact is incalculable and that isn't enough to do it. I don't know. There are also other details to this deal that I could bore you all night with because I lived with this for several months. But at the end of the day, you're a legislative body. Your decisions are going to get upheld if they're fairly debatable. Decisions are fairly debatable if two reasonable people could disagree about what the right answer is. I'm looking up at 5 reasonable people. Please let me know if you have any further questions. I will try to answer them. If not, I'll be happy to sit down and hear the wisdom of the community.
We may have you up after the public hearing for discussion.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir.
Before we get to that, I have to read my statement of disclosure of conflict. This is a declaration of interest with respect to the Rocky Ford Solar Project. This declaration is made with respect to the transaction in which a supervisor of the County Board of Supervisors has a personal interest in the transaction involving the county and the applicable exception which permits said supervisor's participation. The Virginia State and Local Government Conflict of Interest Act, in accordance with Section 223112B1, requires this disclosure to be recorded in the county records in any case in which I have a personal interest in the transaction, but my participation is permissible. Therefore, I make the following disclosure. The transaction involved is pursuant to Virginia Code 58-1-2636. The Board of Supervisors and Ampliform Rocky Ford LLC are negotiating a siting agreement for a solar project facility. An application for a special exception permit by Northwest Rocky Ford LLC for a solar facility within Nottoway County, Virginia. My personal interest affected by this transaction is as follows. The above referenced transaction by the Boards of Supervisors will involve the approval of a special exception permit for the construction of a solar facility project within Nottoway County. My employer, Citizens Bank and Trust, holds deeds of trust on several parcels that are being considered as part of the solar application. However, in accordance with Section 2231B1, because the application includes a group of 3 or more persons affected by the transaction, including multiple landowners, participation is permitted upon the declaration.
Could you read that again, Mr. Chairman?
I prefer not to read it at all, but I want to be fair to everybody. I will be able to participate in the transaction fairly, objectively, and in furtherance of the public interest. With that being said, I would take a motion to open a public hearing on Ampliform siting agreement.
I so move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, so I'm going to call names, and if you're against the project, come on up, and then we'll get back to for the project with the second group. Mr. John Davis.
You might ask him against or for.
Were you against or for? For, okay. Mr. Ray Jennings. For. Beverly Ames. For. Miss Rose Wooten.
Good evening.
I've been here since 2021, speaking to you about land use, like Amanda said, for solar. And I don't think it belongs on prime farmland or on prime timberland. I recently read an article from Cardinal News about a lady talking about Senate Bill 347, basically, but she said a lot of things that I've been saying to you for 5 years about putting solar on farmland. And if it's okay with you, I would like to quote some of the things that she said in her article. Okay?
Certainly, it's your time, ma'am.
Okay. It starts out, the name of the article is Agricultural Zoning is Not a Loophole. And I've been talking about zoning and how we deal with the zoning. Industrial scale solar is an industrial land use. I said that 100 times. When localities prohibit utility scale solar in agricultural zones, they are not banning solar, hardly. They are honoring the intent of agricultural zoning. Quote, agriculture zoning exists to protect land from agriculture. It reflects an understanding that farmland is a finite resource, and once it is degraded, it does not recover on a political timeline or a corporate contract term. As a cattle farmer and a former member of the Bedford County Agriculture Economic Advisory Board, she helped write the policy Bedford County currently uses to prohibit industrial solar on land zoned for agriculture. And this is Joy Powers. She is a cattle farmer in Bedford, and she is also she's running for a congressional seat. The policy was not written to oppose renewable energy. It was written to preserve productive farmland, protect soil and water, and ensure agriculture remains viable for future generations. Industrial scale solar is an industrial land use. That is not a value judgment. It is a functional reality. Large-scale grading, soil disturbance, stormwater infrastructure, access roads, and long-term soil compaction required are incompatible with the purpose of agricultural land. When localities prohibit utility-scale solar in agricultural zones, they are not banning solar. They are honoring the intent of the agricultural zoning laws. Once topsoil is lost, productivity declines, drainage patterns change, neighboring farms bear consequences they never excuse me, they never agreed to. Entire agricultural economies can be disrupted. These are not abstract risks. They are lived realities in rural communities across the Commonwealth. This is not a rejection of renewable energy. It is a defense of local decision-making and of land that feeds people, supports rural economies, and sustains communities. If the General Assembly wants to build a responsible energy future, we can start by respecting the purpose of agricultural zoning, not hollowing it out. End of quote. I just want to say, for 5 years, I've been saying the same thing over and over, that I'm not against utility scale solar. So when you ask me if I'm against it, I'm not against it if you put it on industrial zoned land. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Brian Thomas? You're against her?
Might as well be.
I can put half and half. We're just trying to keep track.
Brian Thomas, I'm from Crew, Virginia, District 3. I'm here to speak about a specific clause in this agreement that caught my eye. And of course, as you know, I'm Mr. Setback, and so I'm talking about section 1.10 of the siting agreement called setbacks. This particular one says that the setbacks that they are asking for variance or exceptions to the setback requirements of our ordinance to allow setbacks from fencing surrounding arrays of the solar facility of no less than 75 feet from adjacent adjacent property. The ordinance says that should be 300 feet. A variance down to 75 feet is 25% of the ordinance in that particular instance. What's more egregious is clause number 2, less than 1,200 feet from a habitable dwelling. They don't give any kind of clause in there that says no less than anything in that. They just say they want variance to go down less than 1,200 feet from a habitable dwelling. In the affected zonings that are around this particular project, that would mean that there's a possibility if your property, adjacent property, has a dwelling properly set back from its lot line of 100 feet, that solar project is going to be 175 feet from their front door. Not 1,200 feet, but 175 feet. Gets worse if you allow this project to be in a rural residential area. That'll be only 150 feet from their front door. So I want to make sure you realize that this language is in the siting agreement. That means that they will probably come back if there are any objections in the special exception permit process. When they bring it before the planning commission or to the board, they'll say, well, you can't really object to that because it's written in our signing agreement that you agreed to this. So please, please make sure you realize what you're signing as far as setbacks go. I'm going to let the public complain about exactly why you shouldn't be doing this, but I just want to make sure that everybody realizes what the results of this language is going to be. So that's my request. Okay,
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thomas.
I think there's a typo, typo there.
And it's on a draft.
As a reminder to everybody, this is a draft, and that's why we're having a public hearing to find things that the citizens don't like. In that case, that's a typo that one of the members had actually found earlier in the paragraph. So this is a draft. So this is not set in stone. This is a draft. Okay?
Stay tuned, but it is a typo. It's just a draft.
All right, we've got Ellen Jennings. 4, okay. Karen Kimbrell? Against? Okay.
Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
I don't do a lot of public speaking, so forgive me if I get a little
Thank you for doing it.
I am against this particular solar program, this system. It is industrial, it is not agriculture. With regard to where I live, I'll be right smack dab in the middle of it. On our street, which is Mallory Hill Road, there are 10 dwellings. Mine is 1, my neighbor's 1. We have roughly 50 acres that are not being included in this because we don't want it. My neighbors around us, however, do. So I understand property rights, and I hold no ill will towards them because I get it. It's about the money. And that's what it is. It's about the money. But this is a very agricultural area. Across the road from my house, it's all pasture, up and down hills, creek at the bottom. They're going to cover it in solar panels. Next to my house, in the field I actually rent right now, they're going to cover it in solar panels. Next to my neighbor, they're going to cover it in solar panels. So every time we walk out a door, we're going to see solar panels in front of us, beside us, on either side, and even back behind us. So, you know, that, I've lived there for 32 years. I didn't move there to look at solar panels. I moved there because we have land, because it's a beautiful place. We have deer, we have bear, we have coyotes, we have raccoons, we have fox, we have turkeys. We have all these animals that will disappear for a good bit of time, and they start building this stuff. Not to mention the destruction of habitats. So that's something I think that needs to be taken into account too. And the property setbacks was the other thing that I was concerned about. Because 75 feet from a property line is not enough to plant the trees that they say they're going to plant in order to hide all of that. And when we were asked if we wanted a privacy fence, well, that just kind of made things even worse. I don't want a privacy fence if I live in the country. I don't want a privacy fence. I want to be able to look out and enjoy the pastures, the cows, whatever's around there. But I understand where they're coming from, and I can't tell them what to do. But I think this is something that y'all need to understand. This is a rural community. And if you look at the map that they devised, there are houses scattered all over in this. And that's just, it's a big scattered thing. It's like somebody just took some paint and threw it on the ground, and that's where they're going to put it. Now, solar facilities, in my opinion, they need to be in a different place, either parking lots and rooftops. That's my opinion. But like I said, I hold no ill will toward my neighbors. They may feel differently because I don't like it, but that's my opinion versus theirs. But I think y'all need to be aware that this is a very rural community, and there are little houses all over the place. So it's not like it's just affected me and my neighbor who could not be here tonight. It's affecting a lot of people. Like I said, there are 10 houses, twin dwellings on our road, and 2 of them are basically unoccupied, but the rest of them have people in it. So that's all I can really say. I just want to make sure that you understand, and if you haven't been out that way, you should drive it. Just drive Rocky Ford, drive Mallory Hill. Come out and see what they're going to do, because I think you can't make a good decision unless you know where they're putting it. Because there are far better places than pastures and rolling hills where they're going to have a lot of erosion, a lot of impaction, and a lot of destruction of animal habitat. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Perry from Blackstone? Mr. Perry?
Oh, I'm for it.
Oh, you're for, okay. Bill Foss? For it. Lane Gunn?
For.
Noah Toombs?
For.
Mr. Bill Ellett? You're against? Would you like to come up and speak?
I'm not the attorney, so my knowledge of exactly what is said in the siding agreement varies. So I'm going to just kind of wing it here and go from the heart. All the money sounds good, and this thing has been moneyed to death. I can talk health, we can talk erosion, we can talk contamination, we can talk all that, and nobody cares. Sorry, that's just the way it is. Nobody cares, or that's a perception. So you care about money, so let's talk money. If we're looking at the buffers, let's talk about the buffers first. If you're looking at profit margins, I think Rose asked one person from Ampliform one night, could you do this project with the buffers that are set up within the master plan? And the answer was yes. I said, well, why do you keep changing it? Because it's not maximizing the profit. Well, if you really want to maximize your profit, bring it on out to the ditch. You're talking about some trees for buffers. We don't give a damn about your trees and your daffodils and your azaleas. We're farmers. We like it dark at night, quiet at night, unless we're making a noise. It's a lifestyle we're messing with, and that's the biggest problem here. That's where all the hate and discontent's coming in. You got neighbor against neighbor, family against family, and that's not going to change. I mean, it ain't going away ever, because when you look out your front door, there it is. When you look out your back door, there it is. You look out your side door, there it is. And it ain't going away. And it just grows and it grows. The more hate and discontent comes with it every day you ride out there. Let's talk about adjoining landowners. Everybody talks about landowner rights. I got no problem with these guys making money, but it's 6 guys probably making money on this project, other than companies. I got an adjoining landowner list that's almost 250 people. Now, the day you pass this, those people, and I've talked to realtors and I've talked to appraisers in this area, they said the day you pass it, all those adjoining landowners' property drops 40%. Boom. He said, you can't sell it because nobody's going to list it because they stopped with their company a year ago because it was making them look bad. They couldn't get anybody to go look at it because they didn't want to see those solar panels. And sorry, they're ugly. Those people should have some property rights too. Really should. That's a lot of money when you look at the value of what they're getting hit with. A lot of these people have all their stuff tied up in property. And that's going to be one heck of a hit. It's almost half of it. The location, we're definitely talking about a location that's not right. This is rolling hills. I mean, big time rolling hills. So I've got some 45-degree drops over in my place. And I'm looking at it and I'm saying, I think it was Bobby said 10%. Maybe I'm wrong on that. I don't know. 10% grade. Nothing gets graded over 10%. I looked on the website, it says nothing gets graded over 20%. And then there was a clause that says, we're considering 30%. I'm telling you, it's 30, 40% grades out there. And you can't stop erosion on that. I've been putting stuff in the ground a long time, and you can't stop it. I don't care. You can bring straw. You can put pretty little burlap fences out there. It's not going to stop it. Erosion, the contamination, it all comes into play. Rose was talking about the lifestyle, and I was going to get my daughter to read that article because Rose had showed it to me last week. Fantastic article as far as the zoning, because nobody seems to really pay attention to zoning. It's changed at will. Same with the planning committee. I saw y'all slap them down in here before. They had an 8-0 against it. Boom, you threw them out the door. I don't know how you get them to come back. I really don't.
Mr. Chairman, the gentleman has 30 seconds left of his 5 minutes.
All right, thank you, Mr. Tote.
Okay, I just ask you to consider a little bit more than just money. I mean, I know you need money. I can understand you need money. I understand these property owners like the sound of that money. But there are other people out there with other reasons, be it money, lifestyle, where you live is where you want to live. Give it some thought.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Christopher Page, are you for or against? Are you for or against? Oh, okay, we'll get to you right just a second. All right. Mr. Tatum, are you for or against? You're for, correct? Paul Wilson? Tammy Holler? For? Robert Hawthorne? Yeah. All right. Is there anyone else that's against this project that missed the sign-up sheet and wishes to speak?
This lady here.
I can see.
Bill.
Do we have one or two? Two. We have two? All right, ma'am, come on up and say your name. We're going to get you on the sign-up.
Good move.
What's your name?
My name is Angie Love. I live off of Rocky Ford Road. And unfortunately, I have not done my homework, so I don't know much about what's going on. But I did have a question. For those who are for it, you know, I'm not sure where exactly it's Rocky Ford Road, but exactly where is that? Because I live on Rocky Ford Road, and I know there's farmland next to me, but I just heard tonight that was sold for this project. Of the individuals who are for this, how many of you live on Rocky Ford Road? I'm wondering what's on the good side of this project, best scenario, what is that? And on the downside or the worst scenario, what is that? If we happen to have a really, really bad storm, hail, and it has happened before, and this, you know, the solar gets damaged, what does that mean to the soil, to the air, to those who live around it? I do remember a few years back, there was a solar project. This was in Ohio, and there was this really bad storm, and all of that solar got damaged. Then it was, well, what are you gonna do with it after that? And some of the communities, they wanted to move it somewhere, and nobody wanted that in their community, you know, the damaged material. So again, what's the best scenario, what's the worst scenario, and are we prepared to handle, you know, if it does go downside, are we prepared to do what? You know, and again, of those who are for it, and I understand the money, you know, it'd be good for maybe the community, but would you feel good about it being in your neighborhood and like you living right next to it? And you know, I have a well, we have a well, and I'm concerned, you know, if something happens, you know, 175 feet, you know, stuff soaks into the earth way deeper than that. So, you know, just something to think about. You know, best scenario, worst scenario, and if it does hit that worst scenario, are we prepared to handle it, you know, environmentally and safely and properly? Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Love.
Thank you, Ms. Love.
Did I have one more that was against? Good evening. Could you state your name, please?
My name is Lorraine Rather.
Good evening.
Good evening. The reason that I'm here, I'm not at a point where I can say I'm for or against, because there is information that I have requested from the office of Mr. Zoda that I have not received. I live on Mallory Hill Road, and Mr. Zoda did supply me with the package, and in the package was the special permit request, but the plats were not addressed. And we have, the Rather family over there has two separate plots of land that are, one 15 acres that was down near Mallory Creek, and the other 15 acres is up near the Highway 650, in which there has been some, like 5 acres of that land was given to me. And I went down to Nottoway, and Nottoway is showing the land as a subdivision, but it is not a subdivision. and we have plaques to prove that. So I need to know whether or not, number one, will the solar project will be using a portion of the 15 acres that is near Mallory Creek, or will it just be adjacent to the solar project? And where I live, as I said, on Mallory Hill Road, and I'm in a community where I worked and retired back home because that's where I was born and live. And I like the community being a quiet rural area and not one that would be have the potential of being congested or solar panels around. So I am concerned about value of the adjacent properties and the impact that it will have and resale value, you know, down the road. So that is where I am right now, and I would like for the board to consider that in your decision. Thank you.
Thank you very much for
Thank you,
coming up
ma'am.
to speak. All right. There was two extra there.
Got one more.
Okay, sir, you want to come speak again? Okay. Your name, sir?
My name's Stuart Cardwell. I live on Mallory Hill Road, the same place that little lady back there lives. And I got a question I just want to ask the six of you. If you were considering buying land to have a place to live, would you buy acreage that's completely surrounded by 1,200 acres of glass?
No.
Just a thought. Think about it.
Sure.
Thank you.
We're going to go back to the top of the list. This is John Davis.
Gentlemen and lady, thank you. I'm John Davis. I'm not a resident of Nottoway. I'm in Powhatan. I'm here. I'm a member of the Virginia State Beekeepers Association. I've been keeping bees since I was 16. I'm the director of the Master Beekeeper Program for the state and the secretary of the Virginia Beekeeping Teaching Consortium, a group of 17 clubs in the state that are working to help educate beekeepers. The reason that I'm here tonight is to talk just for a second both to you all and so the folks behind me can also hear. There's concern about taking agricultural land out of agricultural production and zoning. One of the things that this project and several others have in common is that beekeepers are going to be associated with this project to put hives on this piece of property, as well as folks that are raising sheep that will continue to be able to graze this property, as one of the people before talked about the gentle hills and the cattle that are grazing close by right now. So this is one of those projects, and I will tell you, I wear lots of hats. In an ideal world, we would put all the solar panels on top of buildings and parking lots. But that's not economically feasible unless the federal government comes in and mandates it and is going to supply a lot of construction money to do that. So where we are right now is that we have to work with the best of both worlds, and that is, in this case, providing financial benefit for the people in the county, providing agricultural use continued under and around and through these solar panels on the property. The advantage comes in a couple of ways. In my case, I'm a beekeeper, all right? Finding places to put hives that can generate enough honey, not just on that piece of property, but the benefit for the entire community, because hives located there, the foragers from those hives travel out a 3 to 5 mile radius. So that means folks, the neighbors that are talking about losing things, They'll have additional pollination for their home gardens, for the flowers and trees. Draw a circle 5 miles around this property, and I think it includes parts of Crew and a lot of other people that are there. So all of the benefits that come from additional pollination helps everybody in the neighborhood, not just the beekeeper that will have hives on this property. The other part of this property, being able to do things like grazing sheep. There's a gentleman here that's what he does for a living, okay? One of the really hard things about being a farmer in this day and age is finding enough land to farm in the way that you want to do it. Cutting down trees to put in cornfields is an expensive proposition, and there's not so much land we can do that. For a gentleman like this who's making his livelihood raising sheep and selling the products which benefit the people in the county, it gives them sources of food. It also gives additional income that is tax revenue coming into the county from all the transactions. The thing about farming in this situation is that this is land that this gentleman or another gentleman in the same situation that wants to work with them does not have to go finance $500,000 to buy 150 acres to increase his farming size. These types of projects allow the farming community to benefit and allow the other benefits to the community people around this location, as well as the financial benefits for the county as far as the income to the county is concerned. So it's not the ideal situation.
Mr. Chairman, the gentleman's got 30 seconds left of his 5
Putting
minutes.
things on top of an industrial building, but it is one that is designed to be the best of both worlds. Good landscaping, so we don't have runoff, good plantings, benefit both the pollinators and the grazers, and prevent the erosion and the types of things. But this is one of the types of projects that we are trying to support. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Ray Jennings. Good view.
Good evening, boy.
Good evening, Mr.
Ray
Jennings.
Jennings.
Good, hope you are.
I come to tell you, I have solar. I've had it for 10 years. Like the lady was saying, she worried about hail. I've had hail hit it, and I looked at my porch and I said, oh no, my panels are destroyed. Big hail. Not a scratch. Still holding up. Talking about erosion. Grass grows up under it, ain't had a single problem with erosion. Cows, livestock, plowing, that's your erosion. Cattle, in this 40-year project, cattle would 100 times the erosion that this project gonna set. And safety, they talking about setbacks. People have got cows, where do they put their fence? Right up to the property line. If Ampliform put their fence right up against the property line, and you're running down the road, and you run off the road, if it was cow fence there, barbed wire, you go right through it. Keep on getting it. Maybe hit a tree, kill yourself. If Ampliform puts their wire up there, it's gonna deflect you. Keep you from going anywhere. Maybe grab you. Maybe flex you back in the road. Maybe keep from killing yourself. That's the safety part. These, I got plans 40 years, 25 years. If they decide they're not gonna do it in 25 years, hey, I got plans. I've already got plans. 25, 40 years down the road, I'm gonna have an orchard. So please, please don't. My land is 3 sides lumber company. If I put panels up and somebody wants to build a farm out there and look at panels, let them, But I shouldn't get, I shouldn't, I live out in the country, way out in the country. You have to pipe sunshine to my farm. Karen, she's my neighbor. She's talking about she won't see my farm from her house unless she cuts all her trees. Now, the other neighbor she talking about, well, that neighbor's signed Ampliform too, because she's totally surrounded. Hate to break the bad news, but that's how it is. If somebody wants to buy my property right now for what Ampliform's gonna give me for 40 years, please do. I was here 20 years ago. Right here, I wanted to start a sand mine. Well, Ray Taylor died and they canceled that. So I went to New York. Yeah, I said by the time they get back, you know, they schedule another meeting. Here I'm making money to put into the sand mine. No, they ain't had a special meeting and canceled it without me even being here saying anything. That was 20 years ago. I hope y'all ain't gonna mess me around again and tell me I can't have nothing on my farm to make money. You know, I do have a right to farm, you know. And this solar project is solar farming, so I guess it's considered farming. I have a right to farm. I believe that's all I got to say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jennings. All right, we have Miss Beverly Ames, Blackstone, Virginia.
Give me a second, I twisted my knee in the ice.
Okay.
Good evening.
Good evening, Miss Ames. Good to see you.
Evening.
Feels good to be standing up. There's a lot of things that have been said about solar farming. Today, we're talking about the siting agreement. I've been through this siting agreement probably every day for the last 6 or 7 days. Picked up the paper today and found out somebody had already made a statement in the forum about it. So I called this gentleman. His name is Joshua Ball. He is the former executive director of the Currituck, North Carolina Chamber of Commerce. He's now working for, from what I understand, an energy symposium something. But anyhow, I'd like to quote, and I did get his permission to do this, the most significant economic impacts that came during the construction, and they have 4 solar projects in Currituck County, was the workers in the area were eating meals, staying in the hotels, buying gas, getting haircuts, and shopping the local businesses, something we dearly need in this area. The influx of activity can make real difference by giving businesses the breathing room they need to reinvest and grow. It helped a restaurant owner replace an aging kitchen equipment and a hotel to upgrade its rooms to stay competitive. And the barber shop, bring on more people, extra employees. Importantly, utility scale solar is also has a long impact, long-term neighbor. Once it's completed, the construction is completed, they're a very quiet facility. They don't have an impact on your education, your schools, your fire or EMS, and it's a minimal amount of traffic. They all quietly generate an income to help the county and the citizens. So he was very supportive of our projects here, especially this one, Rocky Ford. And I thanked him for talking with me this afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ames.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, we've got Ellen Jennings, Burkeville.
Good evening. I don't usually do this, so bear with my nervousness.
Thank you
My
for-
name is
thank you for
Ellen
speaking.
Jennings, and I also live on Mallory Hill Road. My property is at the end of the road. I am pro-solar, and I did extensive research outside of what the company with Rocky Ford has told me to make this decision. And from what I've come up with, solar energy is safer than it has ever been. They use more durable equipment to prevent damage. There's less use of heavy metals. The leaching risks are minimal. Damaged material is monitored by the companies. They do regular inspection and maintenance. And there are monitoring systems in place with rapid shutdown that can reduce voltage in those panels from 30 volts or less in 30 seconds in case of an emergency. I have absolutely no qualms about having them on my property. I'm not worried that it's going to damage the land. When the life expectancy of the panels are over, if they're not allowed to be rejuvenated or the contract ends with the company will come back and remove all the equipment, take everything down, and do their best to help rejuvenate the land that it's on. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ms. Jennings.
Thank you, ma'am.
I've got a Perry. I can't read the first name. Is it Adam?
Adam.
Adam?
I
Okay.
apologize, my handwriting is absolutely atrocious.
All right, that's Blackstone, Virginia. Thank you, Mr. Perry.
Adam Perry, I'm representing the Inn at Blackstone and Callion Hospitality, the ownership of that property. It's an honor to be here and speak with you today, accompanied by our general manager and our director of sales as well. I'm here to advocate for the solar farm. We have a commitment to the people that we have in our employ. It's about 30 people right now. I don't know if anybody else has noticed, but government travel seems to be a bit down. and our hotel is mainly dependent on that. I've worked in the hotel industry for almost 20 years. Florida, Kentucky. I've worked for, it's got to be in the upper teens, the amount of solar farms I've seen and worked with and supplied rooms for. We do have to be careful as a community to make sure that the people that we're in business with do operate responsibly and they do put money back into the pockets of the people in this community continuously. However, that being said, the money that comes in from the people that build these solar farms is exponential. You'll find that the town will be revived, not just Crew, Blackstone, all the way down to Farmville. It's something that revenue-wise, I believe the township needs, and I am here to graciously ask for its approval. Thank you very much for letting me speak.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Bill Foss.
Good evening, board members.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Bill Foss. I'm also the owner of JBP Printing and a resident of Crew. I wanted to speak to the integrity of the representatives of Ampliform, mainly Chad. People with integrity can be trusted more times than not, and what they are representing as well. No one for or against can predict all the outcomes of this project. I do believe they will do their best and represent this county well, and that's all we can ask for. They have been doing business with me since they came to the area. They've had many other choices. In each area, they do their best to become involved and contribute to the community. They donated $1,000 to the Crew Charity Golf Tournament to benefit our fire department. They donated $1,000 to the Chicken Festival in Crew, and they donated $800 to sponsor the free Thanksgiving meal to the community. Integrity says a lot about a person and a company, and that's the part that I want you to remember. Integrity says a lot about a person and a community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Paul.
Thank you.
Sir. Lane Gunn, Wiley'sburg, Virginia. Evening, Mr. Gunn.
Good evening. Evening.
Appreciate your time allowing me to speak this evening. I'm Lane Gunn. I'm the chairman of the board of directors for the South Central Virginia Business Alliance. I'm also a project manager with 38 years' experience with Red Oak Excavating. I've constructed 14 of these solar projects. Everybody wants to blame these projects for erosion problems and what have you, and yes, in the beginning it was, but DEQ have stepped up their standards, and it's basically a new sheriff in town, so to speak, when it comes to building these things. Your logging operations that are been going on for 50-plus years in your own county generates more erosion control problems than a solar project will. I can guarantee you. These things are constructed like basically a circle. You start at your LOD with your silt fence and your perimeter control measures. Then you're only allowed to clear and grub 30 to 40 feet for that operation. Then you can come back and clear and grub where your actual sediment basins go. Construct the sediment basins, and then you can work in your watershed above it. That's how they control the runoff. That's how they control stabilization from start to end. All right? Now let's talk numbers. Personally, Red Oak Excavating's gone from, at one point, thanks to 2008 and 2009, 7 employees. Now at 44. That's a pretty good jump for a small company that used to only have 3 bulldozers. Now we've got 7 bulldozers, 6 excavators, and one of those is a 690, which is almost $750,000. We've got 3 40-ton trucks, 2 25-ton trucks, several rollers, and a fleet of basically smaller equipment to support the larger stuff. All of that is possible through solar. If we're not an example of perfect economic growth, I don't know what is. This project's going to basically give the county $8 million up front. The rest of it, where they're talking about wages for the workers and generating jobs and what have you, that's great. The biggest thing about these projects is they don't just generate jobs, they sustain jobs. That's the key. Build a project in Nottoway. Charlotte County's got 3 or 4 that we're going to be building over the next 3 to 5 years. One of them is Randolph Solar. That's 800 megawatts. Guess where it's located? My back door. I'll be able to see the fence, the buffer, and everything else out of my back porch. Do I mind? No, because it's 5 years worth of work for my people. That's what I sit there and think about every time that I see them out there surveying and everything else. It's 5 years supporting families that work for me. Money generated for the county. It's not just about hotel rooms, restaurants, gas stations, mechanic shops that the EPC, which is the Engineering Procurement Construction Company, that's going to come in here and build it. It's not just what they're going to be spending with them. Every single dollar that you can get from these projects, from local families, using local companies, stays local. It doesn't go outside. You're not paying, workers from Texas to come in here and build these projects that don't care about the land like your local companies will, and then take the money and leave. It's all going to stay right here. You're supporting your community. You're supporting your families. And you'll hear everybody grumble behind me when they sit there and say it's all about the money. That's what makes the world go round. Right now, all of y'all have the power to work these siting agreements, work with the conditional use permit, and put it to where it best suits your county. If you don't do it now, State Corporation Commission, thanks to our lovely delegates that we have elected over the last year or two, are going to take that power away from you. They're going to dictate where it's going to go. You're going to have to sit there and say why you denied a project for the last 5 years with an explanation. And they're going to say, well, we want to put one there. And that's where they're going to put it. None of us will have a say-so in it. Y'all won't have a say-so in it. So the best thing to do, in my opinion, is for y'all to work with Ampliform, come up with a good siting agreement, come up with a good conditional use permit, and I know y'all have different names for them. But once you get everything in place that benefits the county, it will benefit the citizens. And when they're talking about putting it on agricultural land, there's a bill in the House and Senate now that's going to change the way that they zone agricultural land to allow solar on it. So it won't even be a zoning issue anymore. You know, this is the type of stuff that y'all probably already know or are seeing coming down the pipe to be looking at. But after it's all said and done, the best thing you can do for your county is work the best deal you can get out of it right now. So, you know, I wouldn't want to be in your chair, but I appreciate the sacrifice that y'all make for your community, and that ought to be applauded. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. We got Mr. Noah Toombs, Red Oak, Virginia.
Good afternoon, Board.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for letting me be here today. I'm from Charlotte County. I'm Noah Toombs. I'm on the Business Alliance with Lane. We specialize in helping businesses make sure they get to work on these upcoming solar projects. We want, if solar projects are going to be here, we want local businesses to be helping construct these projects and is doing as much as they can to help. I'm a local business owner in Charlotte County. I do tree care and waste management, and I can say that solar farms have really helped take my business to the next level. And something I'm very proud of is to be able to hire 2 classmates I graduated with that have 4-year degrees and know where to work. And I take pride in doing work here in Charlotte County where I grew up. And in Charlotte County, there isn't much to do. And when these projects came up for bid, it was a blessing. It put me in my first home. And they give opportunities to these local businesses that other infrastructure projects won't give. And now having this experience under my belt, I'm able to go to places, for an example, Hitachi in South Boston, and do a contract job because of the experience I got from working these solar farms. And also, what these solar farms severely helped us with is safety issues. I didn't know how serious safety was. And when you go to work for these solar farms, they take the time to teach you and get with you to make sure you're performing your job as safe as possible. I do think solar projects can greatly benefit small businesses, and that's what I represent. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Christopher Page.
How are you?
Good afternoon, good evening.
Are you Blackstone Chamber?
Yes. All right, so good evening, everybody. Eventful day. I'm here tonight in my capacity of, oh, you got the clock running. I'll take my time back for that, please. I'm here tonight in my capacity as the chairman of the Blackstone Chamber of Commerce. I want to speak directly only to the economic reality facing our business community and why this siting agreement is a critical win for Nottoway County. Our local businesses are the heartbeat of this county, but they are under immense pressure. We're looking at a massive courthouse project and other proposed tax increases that threaten to stifle growth on main streets all throughout the county. Small business owners simply cannot absorb another tax hike in their overhead. We need to find a way to fund the county's future without reaching further into the pockets of the people who keep our economy moving here in Nottoway. Now, I know we're not voting on the whole project itself, so I'm going to talk about the project and the site agreement. This particular agreement with Ampliform provides a clear alternative. We're talking about $8 million up front and more on the back end, I think up to $3 million. That's about $11 million in direct investment that requires 0 new services for the county. No new police, no new schools, no new wear and tear on our main roads. And for the business community, this is not about green energy versus fossil fuels. It's about green dollars that could mitigate the tax burden on our business and our residents. One of the biggest concerns we hear in here today is the preservation of our rural character. This agreement actually strikes the perfect balance. It protects the property rights of citizens. Make no mistake, this project, everyone who wants their farm to remain a farm will be able to do that. And everybody else who chooses to put solar on their land, they will gain a stable, long-term source of income, and that'll keep the land in the family for generations. And this is a pro-business and pro-farmer compromise. On behalf of the Chamber and the local businesses that drive our economy, I urge you to approve this siting agreement. Let's take the $11 million investment and use it to protect our taxpayers, support our courthouse needs, and keep Nottoway County open for business. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Page. Mr. Tatum. Good to see you, sir. Thank you for coming.
Doing good, John. Y'all are. You know, they talk about we taking away agricultural land. That's the man going back here was talking. I got 435 acres. About 100 acres open. Are they gonna open it all up like you talk about sheep and goat? I'm making this farm 4 times bigger for some young guy or whatever. I don't want to. Maybe bring sheep, goats, like you said, bees or whatever else in. So why am I hurting agricultural land? I just cut pine, 20-year-old pine, about 55, 60 acres, brought me $6 a ton. You do the math on that, that's $25 a year. How many goat, how many sheep, how many bees, like he was talking about, can be raised on that land? And also give a young guy opportunity to become a farmer. And that's all I gotta say, it's just, pine is growing 2.5 times faster than the sawmills can cut it. So, and that's what I got mostly back at, is planted pines. 20 years, $25 an acre, what is that? And they say it's only gonna get worse. That's just all I got to say.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tatum.
Thank you.
Paul Wilson.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
I'm Paul Wilson. I live in Brunswick County, Virginia. Have a small farm, and I'm going through what a lot of the people here are going through tonight, thinking about solar. My farm is going to be totally surrounded by it. It's going to touch all 4 sides. And when I first thought about it, I thought, oh my God, I don't want it. Then I sat down and started studying. The more I studied, the more I studied, the more I thought about it. I think solar is a great idea. First of all, I'm a Virginian. I love my state. And things I see happening in the next 20 years with the growth that we see going on in Virginia and on the East Coast, I know I don't want to be a California with rolling blackouts. Last week, when it was 2 weeks ago, when it was 10 degrees, I want to come in, my house is warm. For God's sakes, when I come in from working with my sheep and it's 95 outside, I want air conditioning. So looking at solar today and the products that they're using in the solar fields today is more efficient. The things that were bad in solar and that was dropping into the soil doesn't exist anymore. And I see positive things. Is it the answer or the end all to energy? No, it's not. But it's a piece of the pie that's going to get us from where we are now to where the grid is going to hit us 20 years down the road. I love my sheep. And my dream is to put sheep in a solar field. It's being done all over the country. We can keep that land into agricultural by putting sheep on the property, which has low impact on the land. Sheep will increase the quality of the soil. They will control the grass. They're quiet. And on my farm, when I bought it, it had been a row farm for 30, 40 years. There was erosion problems. And since I've had sheep on it and good grass growing, I don't have erosion. So one of the things I want you to think about is not today, not tomorrow, but 30 years from now and 20 years from now. The greatest threat to farming is not solar. It is urban blight. The number of farms being lost to that is horrendous. Is it here for you now? No. Is it in my county? No. But it's coming. So when you look at solar, I want us all to think about is a piece of the pie. It's going to help us along. And I am experiencing exactly what your citizens are experiencing. Like I said, covers me 360 degrees. But I think that the benefit is far going to outweigh the bad points. Thank you for my time.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Tammy Holler.
She's going to park me and she'll be back.
Okay, all right. Good evening.
Good evening. Yes, I'm Tammy Holler. I have worked in the soil nutrient management field now for about 30 years. And I just want to say, you know, with these solar sites, yeah, there can be a lot of erosion stuff with them. But keeping them in ag, having the bees there, having the sheep there grazing, there's no better livestock than sheep to take and build soil and prevent soil erosion. You can take, where they're cutting this timber down, it's going to disrupt the livestock or the wildlife for a short period of time, but you'll be surprised how quick the wildlife's going to come back. There's going to be a lot more there for the wildlife to eat. Once they come back in, than there is now in that forest. There's going to be grasses and a lot of different varieties of grasses. The sheep are going to provide nitrogen, phosphorus, and potash to the soil, and it's going to keep those grasses growing. That's going to feed the wildlife. It's going to improve our deer population, going to give them more winter feeds. So I just want to say that, you know, the way that the solar sites are planning to and managing the soils now is so much better than when they first started. And they are keeping good ground cover. And as time goes by, I think they're just going to continue to improve by keeping, even though they got solar panels, keeping it in agriculture. And the sheep are just going to improve that soil. You'll see a huge difference, huge improvement in 10 years' time if there's sheep grazing on there. So, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for coming to speak. In a moment of irony, Robert Hawthorne, last word.
Thank you for speaking.
I'll call Alanis Morissette. She'll sing to you.
Fair enough, fair enough. Robert Hawthorne, Lunenburg County resident, Brunswick County tobacco farmer, Nottoway County attorney. When we embarked on this journey in 2019, I'm not sure I ever would have seen or foreseen that we would be here at this point under these circumstances. I've also heard in all that time, all of these arguments for and against. I respect everyone's opinion.
Address the board, sir.
Sir?
Address the board.
I'm sorry. I am. I'm saying I don't know everyone's opinions. It's panache.
No, you can't help it. Okay.
So, I don't know who's going to end up being right 35 years down the line. Just don't know. I don't know how y'all are going to vote. You may be all in. You may vote yes with some reservations. You may vote yes and hold your nose. You may vote no. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. But I want to talk about the things that I do know. While in this 7-year journey, I'll call it, of solar in Nottoway County, we never really knew what the outcome was going to be. But we did know this, and I think we can all agree on this. We knew there was a tidal wave of debt service headed our way, whether we liked it or not. You all inherited that. And there's no way around that. And in response to that, I know that you have raised taxes twice. I feel it. Everybody that pays taxes in this county feels it. I also know that, and I've presented solar siting agreements, I've helped negotiate siting agreements, I've watched siting agreements get made. I also know that this county, with the help of general counsel and specialized counsel, along with specialized counsel for the developer, crafted a siting agreement that is unlike any other. I have never seen a siting agreement with so much money front-loaded. And I know that Nottoway County needs that money. And I know that you know Nottoway County needs that money. And I also know this is your one and only shot. We need the money now. Hopefully 5 years from now, 10 years from now, we won't. But right now, we do. And this is the only game in town to generate that kind of income, whether we like it or not. So it's hard to turn down $10,250,000 of direct money and all the other incidental benefits, financial benefits that go along with it. Are there some pros, are there some cons? Of course. I respect everyone's opinion in here. But I know we need it. And I don't know any way around it. There is no other.
Mr. Chairman, the gentleman's got 2 minutes left of his 5 minutes.
But Bo Toth calling me a gentleman, you know he's full. And you notice, no one ever says gentleman back.
I do notice that, Mr. Hawthorne.
Thank you, gentlemen. So with that, I will conclude. I certainly have appreciated the board entertaining me for all of these years. I've enjoyed working with all of you all. And I mostly appreciate all the citizens that come out and voice their opinions, yay or nay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Hawthorne. All right. That concludes the hearing, the public speaking part of it, unless you have someone else that's for.
Mr. Chairman, I move to close the public hearing at this point.
Okay.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Sir, could you come up to participate in our discussion?
Mr. Chairman.
Yes. So we know we found the public and one of our members pointed out an edit, a typo to 1.10.
Yep. And I saw that as well. Now, I did want to point out one thing about that clause that's important for you all to keep in mind. That lays out the minimum setback. When you actually do the SEP, you're going to actually have a map that you're going to require substantial conformance to. It's probably not going to match that all the way around. So
There'll be some variance when the actual plan comes in as compared to.
And the more strict is the one that will control. In fact, we drafted it that way to be pretty careful to give you that, that control over the exactness of it.
So no less than 75 from adjacent property lines, and no less, the no is missing from the 1,200 feet from a habitable dwelling, was my understanding.
Yeah, it was ambiguous the way that it was drafted. You're right.
Okay. Does anybody want to have any discussion on the site agreement? We can discuss the performance agreement since that's mentioned in the siting agreement.
Yes, sir, I can talk about that if you'd like.
Okay. Did any members have any questions they want to have in the siting agreement at this time?
Mr. Chairman, I tell you what, I'm gonna let y'all talk. I'm gonna sit back here. I'm gonna have a smoke and a drink.
Smoke?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm gonna have me a smoke, and I'm gonna have a beer. It's a root beer, but I'm gonna have it. It turned my nerves up. But no, I don't have anything right now, Mr. Chairman. I'm just trying to ease the tension in the room.
He know how to use it.
I got some.
You got something to talk about on the site agreement?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Ms. Norton.
Page 5, it's just a typo in section 2.1A. It's 80,00. It's supposed to be 80,000.
I see it.
Again, and this is a draft again. We got it.
Yeah, this is a draft.
Well, it's a draft until the moment you vote, so. Which section are we looking at here? Oh, I see it, 2.1A.
Just missing a zero. Yep.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Any further?
I don't think anything from
Again,
the
it's
siting
just
agreement.
a draft. There's no need of us
Draft.
taking a magnifying glass trying to pick out the typos right now.
Okay.
We're gonna fix that.
Anybody want to discuss the performance agreement mentioned on page 2? There's been some conversations about that the last 3-4 days. Our attorney mentioned the $2,250,000 in additional tax income. The unusual part about that is that this is so front-loaded that we had to figure out how to do that in order to secure the money to help with the courthouse project.
We want to know where you at.
I wrote it down.
Oh, okay.
Are you looking at the performance agreement, Mr. Chairman?
I just made some notes from when I was looking at it. I don't think they have a copy of it.
Yeah, it's on the computer.
Yeah, it's on the computer.
Where is this at, Mr. Chairman?
On the email?
It's in the
not
email.
It's not in there.
Notes I took off one of the emails.
It's also in section 3.3.4 of the performance agreement where there's a cap on the total amount of real estate tax that would be paid. That's what we're talking
We're
about,
not,
right?
yeah, we're not voting on the performance.
Yeah, we're not
We're
even,
not voting
no,
on that
no. And we can make, I might add, we may be able to make provisions to this up until the last part of the vote is made, which is part 3, right? The siting agreement, the performance agreement, and then the final part.
SCP.
SCP,
Well,
yes.
Once you adopt something, it's harder to change it.
Right.
In
But-
regards to a typo or something,
Yeah.
the structure doesn't change, but
As you know, Scrivener's errors are
okay.
what they are.
That's okay.
I reviewed a deed of trust that had, today where somebody had wrote 500,000, and it'd been in the land records for 4 years, but everybody knew that the note said 500,000 on it, so. These things happen, we will get those things straight, but to Bo, I know, Bo, you told me not to call you Mr. Toth.
That's correct.
Bo, to your point, until you vote, it's a draft. Once you vote, it's either something or it's nothing, so.
So for instance, if we vote on this siting agreement tonight, we can vote with reservations that we've already discussed, such as these typos, changing some language around, long as it's in with the same scope,
That's correct.
without another public hearing?
Yeah.
Is that right? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Well, since that's the case, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to put a motion on the floor.
Are there any changes that you particularly wanted to have on that
Just
motion?
mention
I just want
the-
to make sure I get it all.
Other than what we've already discussed, I don't know that there is.
I'm afraid of us doing that right now.
You have a
Mr.
vote.
Oak, you got any questions for the attorney? Ms. Norton?
What my problem is, Mr. Toth, is that this thing was not presented to the citizens. I know for a fact, I didn't see it until Friday of last week. I got Mr. Zodi to make copies of it for the planning commission. The first time they saw it was Tuesday of this week, 2 days ago. And I don't think the citizens have had an opportunity to look at it like they need to.
But I don't think, Mr. Ingram, in Bo's opinion, that this is going to.
This is the document that they need to,
Right, it's not got
special
any-
exception permit is gonna be your,
That's gonna be their biggest thing to wanna come and speak
that's where they
against,
can
not
see
this.
maps and, this is locking the agreement for the funds that they're providing.
Suppose the people come when they do this other stuff and they don't want some of the things that the company's proposing.
That's.
Then we do the same thing we did tonight. We'll have the ones that's opposed to and the ones that's
What I'm
for.
saying to you is, if we've got this agreement in place, then we come in, people come in and say, hey, I don't like
So
what
what,
you're doing with
so
this.
what'll happen is, at the beginning of this hearing, this county will receive about $80,000 per 10 megawatts, is that what you'd said?
Per megawatt.
Per megawatt.
80,000 per megawatt. by the
80,000
time
per
it's all said and
megawatt.
done.
So if you come in and a citizen says, we don't want these setbacks, we want the 300. So what you've done is reduce the number of megawatts. This siting agreement still provides the 80,000 per megawatt that the county negotiated. Further negotiations on setbacks, houses, creeks, reduces the footprint, reduces the megawatts, but it does not change the financial agreement that we made.
That's what this is right here, the siting agreement, specific to.
This is the financial one. Why are we talking about a performance agreement?
That's gotta be next, of how they perform.
What is that gonna do?
Whole different deal,
It talks about
like they're performing.
what happens X, Y, Z.
How they perform, how they construct, how they.
So when
Sure.
do we expect to get the performance agreement?
It was going back and forth with attorneys as of
Yeah,
yesterday.
Mike, when is that?
So we're not,
Yeah, the language was going back and forth until Tuesday, when I finally said, we need to put our pencils down, guys. The performance agreement, the overarching concept here is there's $8 million in capital payments by the time this thing goes online to the county. The county gets real estate tax up to $2.25 million over the next 40 years. Anything above, and then the county is going to rebate back the gross revenue share every year. So in other words, their revenue share will not, the really short way of saying it is they will be exempt from the gross revenue share. They will in fact
Because they
pay it.
paid us up front.
They will pay because they paid you up front, instead of them paying you $150,000 a year every year for 40 years. Instead, you get $8 million up front.
All right, there was a limit you said on the real estate tax?
Correct. And
how do you determine what the limit is?
That's in the performance agreement. It's the difference in the value, the base value on the day that it turns on. So if it's worth $2,500, it may be when the permit's issued, might be correct.
That's right.
Or is it worth $15,000 an acre?
All
So-
right, wait a minute, y'all got me confused.
This is the performance agreement. That's why,
You got me confused.
okay.
The reason is because my understanding was, once people put these panels on their property, their real estate value goes up.
It does.
And we're able to tax them at that rate. And if we raise our tax rate, their taxes are gonna go up.
Correct.
Correct.
So, I mean, he said something about a limit of real estate taxes.
It's $2,250,000
That it goes up to that amount.
over the
It
life.
can't go over the $2,250,000.
$15,000 per acre, depending on how many under panel.
All right, if you got,
Works out to about $46,000 a year, I think, which then times 40 years. I think Bo had some other negotiating going, maybe 25 years.
You better take another drink, John. So John and I, we was in discussion with one of the employees of Ampliform, and the original number that we had banged out to get was $12 million, Mr. Ingram. And they laughed, and I laughed back. So then we missed a pot of money because we drug our feet, as most government does. And so they missed a pot of probably the previous administration's, federal administration money, so they couldn't even come close to that amount. But John, they was gonna have a zero cap on tax increase, and we thought that was unjust and unfair. But to go back close to the $12 million, they put a cap on it of $2,250,000. That gets us back to the $10 million.
who pays this tax?
The land property owner, because they're the ones that value went up in the taxes. Now, Ampliform may have a deal, and I think I did hear that Ampliform is going to pay the taxes for them. But their tax is going to increase just like yours and mine is. It's going up. I mean, you know land's going to go up in value mostly every 4 years, but 20 years from now, that land liable to be worth double. And they would pay taxes on
That'll
that.
be worth nothing.
Could be.
Could be. Could be.
So what we're talking about tonight is the siting agreement. The further information on the other two items.
I'd like to put a motion on the floor, Mr. Chairman, if we finish discussion.
Proceed.
I'd like to make a motion that we accept this siting agreement with reservations within scope that we've discussed with the attorneys.
I'm gonna second that while I'm drinking.
Gentlemen, I just want to make sure I have those down 100%, what any of those reservations.
You want to, you
Okay.
care to mention them? You can go ahead.
Page 5,
Well, so we're just,
2.1A.
we're just talking about fixing the
Just
scrivener's
edits,
errors, the
scripts,
typos.
yes, there was no structural changes.
Okay, got it.
All right, I've got a motion and a second. I'm going to roll call. Mr. Ingram.
No.
Ms. Norton?
No.
I'm aye, pass 3-2.
May I speak, Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
We went into this as a draft. This is a siting agreement draft. So do we have to specify that we're changing it to a formal agreement to be able to vote on it? I mean, we were under the
I asked that
understanding
same
it was a
question.
draft.
I asked the
He
same
said as
question,
soon as
Ms.
we
Norton
vote
said
on
no.
it- He said as soon as we vote on it, then.
Mr. Chairman, I feel like I need to, in all fairness, say to you, I thought that what Mr. Burton had I thought the language we had drafted was that it was gonna be 75-foot setback with but still requiring a 1,200-foot setback, he says that that's not actually what he intended.
There you go.
Say that one more time, sir.
So this is the one piece that, regarding the setbacks. And I think to the point that I made about how, with regard to actually looking at the concept plan when you get to the SEP, when I read no less than 75 feet from adjacent property lines and less than 1,200 feet from a habitable dwelling, I thought that those were both no less, because that's think,
mine.
how any reasonable person
That's
would
what,
have read
that's
it.
what we,
Mr. Burton says that's not what he meant.
what did he
So,
mean?
I think, can you say what you meant?
Ampliform's intention with that.
Microphone.
Stand up at the podium,
Please
sir.
come to Mike.
That's Jared. Oh, you said come to the mic.
Supervisors, Ampliform's intention when in the drafting process, when, which you recall, over several months, when that language was put in there, we were saying, if you track how that language reads, it would allow Ampliform to have less than 1,200-foot setbacks from residential. It was, because that is your requirement, 1,200.
It was less than 1,200, but it was not less than 75 from the adjacent property owner. That number's correct.
So what should it be no less than from adjacent property?
I
don't understand why.
Written ordinance.
Necessary, why people put that in?
That's the number.
There's adjacent property line, and then there's the dwelling.
Come up to the mic, sir.
Can't hear you,
The
come
mic.
up to the mic.
Sorry about that. There are two concepts in that provision. One is about property lines, and one is about a dwelling, which is the house structure. So you have a provision in your ordinance which says that essentially that the fence line of a solar cannot be any less than 1,200 feet from a dwelling, from the building.
Greg, enlighten me a little bit on the minutes of that meeting, if you remember them, Greg. I know the 75 foot from the adjacent property owner, but we changed the ordinance. We already done that.
Originally, it's about 300 feet originally, in our ordinance as it stands today. I mean, please correct me if I'm wrong, Mr.
Correct.
That's right.
But you can't have less than 1,200 with no,
Yeah, and then habitable dwelling, it was
Right, but
originally,
we left the 75 foot.
Supervisor, it was originally 1,500 square, it was 1,500 feet from the habitable dwelling from the project area fencing. And the project area is what I explained to the planning commission and the board, is that the project area is defined by the security fencing going around. From that point to the property, to the sideline, setbacks, or
Was 1,500 in our new ordinance, changed that to,
1,200.
that's what I thought. And the 75 foot is correct.
Not new ordinance.
Yeah, the new ordinance.
but
The
you
old
can-
ordinance was
No, we didn't
150.
have a new ordinance.
Yeah, we
it
did.
allows us to,
It allows us to do that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We don't have a new ordinance. The ordinance is the same.
Well, that would be in adopting this right here. This would give them the 75 foot.
But if it's 75 feet all the way around, then we have two different provisions here. Is it gonna be 75 feet all the way around regardless of whether there's a habitable dwelling there?
No,
Or
no.
Is it 75 feet all the way around, and then how much is it from a habitable dwelling?
well, that's the problem with this language. It just says less than.
1,200, if I remember correctly, it was 1,200 foot from a habitable dwelling,
yes, that's,
which is what is written here.
and that's our current zoning or solar ordinance as well.
That's our current one. And 75 foot from the adjacent
That's not
property
our
owner.
current, that's not our current ordinance, Bo. Our current
I know
ordinance-
our current ordinance isn't, but for this,
Yeah,
we discussed the
make an
75
exception
foot.
for the ordinance.
Exactly.
But our
So
ordinance now-
what did you think it was, Jared? How many feet did you think it was? From a dwelling, a habitable dwelling?
This, one of a couple of things that we were intending when drafting this language to mean is that pursuant to this provision in the siding agreement, that I believe the number is higher than this, right? But we were saying that we could be 75 feet, no less than.
The 75 feet we've covered because it has a limit. It says no less.
No less, right.
Yeah,
Your language on a home says less than.
yeah, so if you,
There's no limit.
again, we are saying
Yeah, you're correct, there's no.
There's no restriction.
It's 1,200.
You're
It's-
saying we can be less than 1,200.
But to what?
We all saying that?
He's saying.
He is, we're not saying that.
That's what the language in this draft.
Hey, can I ask the question and not be, don't take this the wrong way? As much time went into making this up right here, did nobody not go back and proofread it before they typed it up several times? Because here we are with a motion on the floor, second, already passed, and then we come back and say, they ain't nowhere close to being right. Well, it's what I thought was right. And that's the motion that I put on the floor, and that's what was passed. It's 75 foot and 1,200 foot. Anything else other than that, y'all can make an amendment to it if you want to vote on it. Tired of fooling with it now.
We've already voted, and our intention was no less than 1,200 feet from a habitable dwelling.
If you need greater than that, then we'll do it. You just have to come back, and we'll have a discussion at that time. But 1,200 is what I remember, and 75, we reduced it to the 75 form.
And if our intention reduces the $8 million because you can only get us 96 megawatts, and that's, or megawatt, however it works, that's okay. But to approve no limit from a habitable dwelling, no, sir. That was not this board's intent.
You can't put no limit. Then that goes back to what Mr. Thomas said originally. He's talking about 100 foot from somebody's front door. And I was curious to what he was speaking of.
That's it.
Okay, all right.
All right.
We got a whole lot left in our meeting to do.
I know, Mr. Chairman, who's going to follow up with this to make sure it's done properly? Mr. Bowen and Mr. Zodi?
I've
And
got-
the attorney.
That, I have to sign it.
Okay.
But I'm asking the question because it seems like, and this is gonna be a Robert's Rule question. It seems like we're this close, you're this close to this deal, but you're not there.
It went 3-2.
We done voted on it. It's
over.
done.
It's over.
As far as this siting agreement.
So Robert,
The site agreement only.
And provisions can be made long as they within scope.
I heard the attorney say, once you vote on it, it's no longer draft.
Yeah, no, he said as long as it's within scope, he can change the language around as long as it's within
That's a
scope.
big change.
We discussed that. No, it's not. It's not a big change.
We discussed that particular change.
I'm just going by what Mr.
That there was a typo.
Well, we had talked about that, we had talked about how that was a typo, how we were going down from the 1,500 to the 1,200, and that was what that was intended to do. That had all been discussed. You guys have just voted on that. You have the ability to reconsider that during the same meeting if you so desire. When you adjourn, that's that.
Right, I'm fine with it. We still gotta get the,
I want to
performance.
make sure that, what you're saying is
No less than
that
1,200.
no less than 1,200 feet from a habitable dwelling.
That's what y'all voted on.
Okay, that's what I want to make sure. I voted no on all of it.
So, Ms. Dorton, what's my
I wanna make sure
follow-up?
if that's going to go in, that's got to be that.
It's, and correct me if I'm wrong, there was some languages, other languages mentioned that's gonna be sentenced a little bit different that we talked about today, but it's gonna be within the same scope of this.
I got you.
Okay.
The two types.
All right, I'm going to ask the board, we've got a lot of meeting left. Would
I'm gonna
anybody
last
like to take a recess?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
I'll take a
please.
motion for a recess.
I'll make that motion.
We'll do about 10 minutes. Everybody like a recess?
14 minutes is 2 cigarettes,
All in
7
favor?
minutes each.
7.
Turn your mics off, please. Mics. Mics. 26, 7 p.m. We're coming out of a recess. And we're moving on to department reports.
All right, let me get my wife. Mr. Chairman, let me catch up here with you. Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman and board members. Virginia Department of Transportation, Aaron French is on another assignment, and Paul Henson said if we have any problems, please, I'll send an email to them and they will address it. Your solid waste, building inspectors, animal control is in your package, and it came in late. If it didn't come in late, I don't know. We probably put the binder together. I'm not exactly sure. You see Jackie's library is there, and then of course you got Dr. Marsha Martin is here, and there is a budget adjustment on G7, the last page right here. Anyway, you see it on the last.
All right. Dr. Martin, you want to come on up?
Good evening, Mr.
Good
Chairman
evening.
and members of the board, Mr. Bowen. Just a couple of things this evening. I just wanted to highlight a couple of things that were going on in the school division right now. So our NJROTC had their annual inspection Friday of last week, and they passed, which is great. Our program is on its way to being really reestablished. With things that are going on. We are making a lot of academic progress, finally now that we're back into a routine of school, but they've said that 4 little word for Sunday evening, and hopefully that snow word doesn't come to fruition this week as we finally started to get back into a swing of things. I also want to highlight our fire safety or firefighting course. They are actually going to be taking their assessment next Saturday, so their burn assessment. This is our first firefighting course that we have had. They have been very successful. So once they take it, they will be allowed to, and Buddy can correct me on this if I'm wrong, they can fully participate in the fire department that they are a member of. So we're excited about that. We have a couple of other school divisions that want to come see our firefighting program. They're interested in doing the same thing. So it's been a really good experience for our students. I heard the alarms going off today in the building, and they were testing their own equipment. I was like, what's going on in here? But they were testing their own stuff. I was like, whew, good.
Well, that's great. That's wonderful.
Yeah, so we're really proud of that. The other thing I want to highlight for us this month is our partnership with the Sheriff's Department. It was School Resource Officer Appreciation Day. We are very thankful for their partnership and the collaboration that we have with them and the collaboration we have with the sheriff and with our quarterly safety meetings and ensuring that we have the support that we need throughout the school division. So that is a blessing to us. And then we are looking forward to our joint work session. Hopefully 3rd time's a charm. The first 2 were all canceled because
So
of
that's
that.
2 weeks away. That's not this snow. So
Not
that,
the snow,
Okay.
maybe the next one or something, but 3rd time's a charm, I guess, so we're looking forward to that collaboration so that we can share where we are with capital improvements, our needs, and of course our budget needs for this upcoming school year. So that's it. I was going to keep it short because y'all have had a long meeting so far. So, and you do have the budget adjustment for us.
We need a vote on that, Mr. Chairman, I think, for that budget adjustment. Correct, Dr. Martin?
This is going to be in your packet that was handed to you. It's not in your book. G7. It appears to be a pass-through grant.
It is.
Last page. To the back of your agenda.
You know, Dickie, I might have yours. I'm sorry. I apologize to you.
All right, so Math Innovations Grant, $193,913. And then you've given some line items there showing what the grant was used for. I need a motion to approve this pass-through grant of.
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, pass through.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, we've got social services. Greg, you have anything?
Very briefly, again, to repeat what Dr. Martin said, we've had a long night tonight. I gave you all 3 attachments. They should be on your desk one of them is from the Virginia Site Ready program through.
Those are the handouts that you gave us.
Yes, sir. Another one is in there is a text amendment that I took to the Planning Commission to allow animal hospitals in the A1 and C1 district and also commercial districts. So I just put that in for your
And that's just because it was missing.
Yes, sir.
When we talked the other day, it's just what the language wasn't in.
Yeah, we don't have a zoning district to allow animal clinics in the
Okay.
county. And the last thing I have is, it's on the Outlook letterhead, and this is from Joe Lurch and Landon Green from Dinwiddie County. And To let y'all know, there's a quick update on SB 443 that allows battery energy storage facilities by right in an already approved solar. And what Joe Lurch and Landon are proposes, to veto this, and there's key points on like the 45th page. And if the county's interested in pursuing, sending something to Governor Spanberger regarding that, we need to get it in because the day of presentment is like 7 days, and then it automatically becomes law unless the governor vetoes it.
You wanted to forward that to the board members in that email?
Yes,
and then
I
we'll
sure will.
send something.
And because Landon included a letter that I think we can sign off on.
Yeah, Landon Green, he's county administrator of Charlotte County.
Good man, good man. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Greg, I got a question. River Street, who's gonna follow up to make sure that these agreements are done and we don't lose our ARPA funds?
We've have an agreement signed on the county side right now, and so we need to get River Street to sign off on that as well.
And that was the fourth agreement?
Fifth agreement.
Fifth agreement.
Fifth agreement.
Will you give us another update at the next work session,
I
please?
certainly will.
Thank
I'll be
you.
happy to. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I don't see how they're gonna pull that through.
Mr. Hyde.
Mr. Chair, members of the board, Mr. Bowen,
Hey.
staff, citizens, good evening. Good to see you. I don't have anything particular tonight. I just want to give you one item, but your report, my report's in your packet, so if you have questions on that, I think the biggest thing you saw from that was the weather. We had a lot of weather since the last board meeting, right? Preparation for that. But I do want to share this with you in the public. Saw this on Facebook. Just want to say I just got back from the Virginia Fire Rescue Conference. As you know, Nottoway County Departments, Blackstone Volunteer Fire Department was primary. We had a motor vehicle crash back last year in the fall where it was a head-on on the Cambridge Road, right past the Country Club. And that was nominated for the Governor's Award, so it received the Governor's Award. Now, we shared, not really shared, but there were 2 Governor's Awards given for responses. We got one, I guess, for the rural model, and then, of course, we Metro Washington Airport Authority also got the same award for, remember the helicopter crashing with the airplane up there in D.C.? So that one was highlighted, but ours was highlighted. In front of a large audience, political officials there. We had as many people as we could to get up to Virginia Beach. Some of them are still there, but I just want to say yesterday, Blackstone Volunteer Fire Department, Crew Volunteer Fire Department, Burkeville Volunteer Fire Department and EMS, Nottoway Emergency Squad, Cambridge Fire Department, because they set up the landing zone down near Irby Road, near the Irby Farm that night. We also had a med flight, and this was really cool to share the stage with the helicopter crews. That was pretty cool. We had med flight Life Evac 1 and 3 out of VCU, and then Virginia State Police med flight. So they all received this award too. But just want to let you know, and I'm going to hand this to you, let you look at it. Every one of the agencies got one of these. And they also got the ribbon tacks. They call ribbon bars that you wear for life-saving and the different things on a uniform. So, Mr. Chair, can I walk up?
Sure.
Okay, sir.
Buddy, thank y'all. I know y'all don't do
Thank you
this
for everything you do, Mr. Hyde.
awards,
And
but-
we had ice and power stayed on, and you were up here at the emergency talking with me, talking with Steve, making sure that things were going okay. So much better outcome than the previous ice stuff.
And what I'd like to
Appreciate you.
do, I'd like to go ahead and ask you now, we can plan for this later, but some of the agencies that couldn't come from Nottoway and Cambridge, we would like to, we've been offered to have the executive director of Virginia Department of Fire Programs come here to a board meeting and finish it out.
That'd be fine.
Because they were not, and I think that would be good to come here, and we may even get the med flight crew, because I don't think they're.
Just check with
come here,
Andrea,
he said that he would.
Andrea on scheduling, and
Yes, I figured, like in a month or 2, we can do that.
probably 2.
Yes, yes, sir. And last but not least, Dr. Devin Foster, Devin that teaches at Nottoway High School, intermediate school. Basically, he is teaching a class tomorrow down at Virginia Beach. He's doing a presentation. This is pretty big for him. on fundraising engagement of volunteers. So he's doing a small gig. There's about 90 speakers down there, and they're doing different subjects. So our very own Devin Foster, who's also deputy chief of Blackstone, he's down there. We had dinner with him yesterday. But
All right, that's great.
that's good. Good for him. Just want to put that plug out for Dr. Foster.
Yep.
Good deal.
And I think some people too, Mr. Chairman, volunteered through the snowstorm. I think Doc McGee, I know Mayor Payne came up there and helped, and I don't know who, when you start thanking people, you lose sight of who's, helped, but anyway.
Right, it was. They were great help. And we also want to thank the Nottoway Sheriff's Office for bringing the people on their vehicles to the EOC, because that was a problem, is finding out how to get them there to work.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, number 11 is me. So Steve and I went up to Richmond with Senator Malky and tried to meet with Delegate Ware, but I did leave him a note. We do have a budget amendment in the governor's budget for some reimbursement on the VCBR residents that go to Piedmont. That ticked up a little bit. We had 12 VCBR residents, so Superintendent Townsend was going to speak with Commonwealth Attorney again about which, it's important that they stay where their budget is. Delegate Ware was also working behind the scenes. He had put a bill forward, but it failed. It didn't make it out of committee, but he was still working behind the scenes trying to do some negotiating on our behalf for that. So positive. Jail's doing very well. So our county administrator started talking to them about some cuts and some income to come back to the county. So we've begun those discussions on that particular department. That's it.
All right, pick your part. No report, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
We'll have that public hearing next month.
All right. Do I have any constitutional officers in the audience that wish to speak? Anything to present? I'm not going to call names. Any constitutional officers wish to speak? All right.
Sheriff's back there.
Going on to, he shook his head. Unfinished business. Let's see. Animal Shelter Supervisor Ingram.
I was not able to make the meeting the other day,
I won't
obvious reasons.
Right, yeah. And Mr. Ingram's been going through a tough time with his family, so. The IDA is supposed to meet March 5th, so we can have some, send some more funding. We're about somewhere in the neighborhood, and Logan had to take my spot, and she might have to speak up, but I think she covered me okay. We're about 80 to 90% complete on the animal shelter. I think the March they plan to do a punch list, and I think, Logan, what you talked about, they're planning to complete in March. And then the process starts coming of installing equipment and appliances. So that's where that stands right now.
Okay.
Getting close.
Greg spoke to River Street. I went to Public Safety Radio Project the other day. They were working through some issues, still moving along. Have we heard anything in regards to the tower? Anything back?
Yeah, that is a hiccup there. I call it a hiccup. It's a big hiccup. We got to have these. We're gonna have to rent tower space. Southside Electric is $4,000 a year. Old Shore is $1,000 a month tower, which is $12,000 a year. But the Kinston Forest folks, it's not the Kinston Forest. It's the tower people you rent from. Okay, so let me rephrase that. They're asking for $3,300 a month, which is over $39,000 a year. We can almost build a tower, getting close. And they are interested, and hopefully, one of the school people here, the only place we could build a tower that would work would be on the Blackstone primary property. But anyway, we got to start looking at that. I can't see paying $39,600 a year, and that's the stuff that we need to be talking to our senators and delegates to say, if it's public safety, you ought to cap that thing off or something. That just don't seem right.
If they mandate it, they need to send the money down and stop forcing us to hit our
right,
people.
I mean, 'cause that's an annual fee, man.
That's right.
That's tough. So anyway, that's the.
So still working on details of the radio project.
Right. Okay. I also want to thank, I see Chief Joy Chanel's back there. The radios came in. They've been, and he come down there with some labor and helped unload it. Of course, we had some problems with the courthouse. Drain stopped up. He brought the truck down here and flushed it out. Having trouble with people, urine sample bottles are in the toilet and in our drain line. But anyway.
But those conversations have been had.
They've been had, and they've some tough conversations. It's all flushed down the drain now. It's over with. So, anyway, that's it for that.
Did you save that? You saved that one.
Yeah, I say that. You can't everybody pull that one off. All right, and I've told you all about the PPEA update a little bit with meeting Judge Teefy.
All right, any additional committee reports for supervisors? I have not been to my new one yet, my CPMT, that's next week. Anybody else? Okay. Ms. Norton, have you successfully located a library board appointment?
We had 3 people we were in talks with, and all of them declined.
Okay.
Jackie is working on another one. This person has to be from District 3. Nobody wants to serve on committees. It's.
I've got, we did lose our citizen member of Crossroads Community Services Board. We appreciate Ms. Coates for her service while she was there. She was able to do about a year. So I do need a citizen for Crossroads Community Service Board. That's countywide. It is not by district. So if anyone wants to participate in that, that is in Farmville on the Bush River campus. And we do send them money. We send them about between $70,000 and $80,000 a year. So we should have some citizen input on that. Real estate tax lock for elderly. I don't think we've worked on any of that lately.
No, we haven't. I'm waiting for Miss Hudson to come.
Hudson to get back. Okay.
Yeah. She had a serious operation.
New business reimbursement resolution courthouse.
We done that.
We did that?
No,
Public
actually
hearing.
we didn't. I goofed up again. So, no, we did the public hearing. That's the money. This is actually, and Catherine, I brought her to, I was wondering why she looked at me like I was nuts.
Oh, that's
she
normal.
can't hide her face. I know it.
I mean, you being
anyway,
nuts.
But technically, we need to adopt this resolution. So when I started making payments about the first payment is like you said, Ms. Norton, you read it out to $600-some thousand. I actually got to have a resolution to do that, from my understanding, and that.
That's correct.
And that's in here?
Yes, it is. Look on J1,
okay.
and that's the resolution in front of it. And
We need a roll call, though.
Yeah, and Andrew even put something to make sure we did a roll call.
All right, so did all the members understand that we're using some of our cash, and then when the financing begins for the courthouse, we'll reimburse the general fund from the financing?
Right.
Does that, everybody understand?
Yep. And we're going to be using, we're going to be utilizing the IDA more, and y'all do say, have some stuff in the information where IDA is asking for, try to give money back in that account.
Jay, we got to do this right.
Well, I thought it was, I was trying to tie it in, but go ahead.
You gonna tie it in?
Yeah, well, no, till you do that, I'll shut up. You're right, take one bite of the elephant at a time.
All right, so we've got a resolution, and how much
We need
do
to
I
read it or
see?
just move to approve it?
Has everybody read the resolution?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to read them in bold. Resolution of the Board of Supervisors of the County of Nottoway, Virginia, declaring its intention to reimburse itself from the proceeds of one or more tax-exempt financing for certain expenditures made and or to be made in connection with the county's courthouse project. And we don't have to have an amount here because we might have to do it again a little bit more. So I'd like a motion.
I move to approve a resolution.
I have a second.
Got to get paid, right? We got to pay ourselves.
Yourself?
So I'll second it.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
I got a roll call. Ms. Norton?
Aye.
Mr. Coates?
I certify.
Mr. Ingram?
Yes.
Mr. Ward?
Yes.
So the only thing I was going to ask, I wanted you to know about it. I had a conversation with our legal team. We do feel like that, and I agree with them, we need to do, the IDA really they understand their role, upcoming role, and they're willing to come in and maybe do some training for about an hour. We were looking at, right, Gary? Is that
Do you
close?
want to just get out of order a little bit and talk about the IDA now and then go to the EMS?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Yeah,
Get
let's
it
do
out-
that.
get it out.
Just a quick motion to amend the agenda. We're going to go to J4 and then go back.
That's fine.
So moved.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Sorry about that. Now we can go with it.
All right, as Mr. Bowen was saying, we've discussed a little bit that it might benefit the IDA to have a little bit of training. I don't know if it's ever been offered before, and there's some concern that they might not fully understand the really important role that they're playing in all of this. I told Mr. Bowen, Catherine and I could come in and do,
a trainer that we could offer them, or alternatively, we could look to see if VML offers training. I don't know if they offer training for IDA, but we could look into it, and, you know, they typically, my understanding is, will offer this without charge to the locality, so.
I think that'd be great, because they've requested, and this goes on to your agenda, J4, IDA repayment request. You want to speak to that, Mr. Bowen, as to what
Well,
your thoughts are?
it's really kind of hard to speak for it now. It was in your package, hoping that we were going to approve the ward burden. We should have some funds coming in with the ward burden. I don't have that, but I thought it was a possibility that if we get to 2.9 million, is that somewhere in the neighborhood?
2.7, I think.
2.7, we could maybe reimburse, basically what you're doing is, and we probably need to do the math, pay the animal shelter off, that's what you're doing, and for 2.2, and then they'll have their funding back.
And that money can be then invested in CDs or short accounts.
Right.
Earn interest. John and I have been kicking around some ideas as to economic development. Rather than purchase, we'd be looking at incentivizing if we got a prospect, and then also looking at some of the land that we still own that we haven't sold. That just as Blackstone is doing now, they're planning their 73-acre aviation park.
I got you.
And so the IDA would have some money if we said, okay, let's, does this place need a phase one? Does it need an entrance? Does it need water? And we could go then present to the IDA and say, hey, we'd like to work on this piece of property, and they would have money.
Okay. And I'm not looking for a vote tonight on that. I just once with that funding come in, would y'all be thinking about it?
Yeah, let's not vote on it.
Yeah,
We don't have it.
I just want y'all
That's right.
to educate. Right. We don't have it, right. That's
Can't
exactly
vote on
right.
it.
We
Mr.
didn't.
Bowen, can you get us a breakdown of that 2.2 million? I haven't seen it.
Of
Of
the
what we
offers?
spent on the animal shelter.
the animal
total.
Spent money.
Oh, yeah.
Before we reimburse it, I'd like to see what it was.
But, yeah, but just know the IDA is the one loaned it to us, and the IDA, that's what we got wrote up in the audit. The IDA has to release that money a step at a time. But Logan, we can send all the pay requests to them, right?
Yes.
Okay.
If you just want to,
I mean, I don't need a stack of papers. I just
wanna
want to see
include
a
a-
breakdown to see what
you
it
just
was
want like a-
for.
Well, that's what
breakdown
you'll see.
in our next month's book?
Okay.
Yeah, it's the
'Cause
pay
it'll be-
request
it'll
number
be
one.
about- Be about done, yeah.
What do we got, four pay requests, 5 pay requests?
We're at 10 pay requests
Oh,
for the
Lord have
contractor,
mercy.
plus half of the retainage that we just paid.
Right.
If you could just do a little Excel to put in our book.
Okay.
And to the attorney's suggestion about training to the IDA, I certify. I agree.
Agree?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
If I was on the IDA, I would certainly appreciate that.
And they'll have some funds to help us with. So.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for leaning on that. Okay.
J5, Mr. Bowen. Small business.
I think we skipped,
Oh, we got to go back.
yeah, let's go
All right,
back.
J2, budget allocation, $210,000 Nottoway County Emergency Squad. Ms. Presley, it says your name beside it.
She's probably waiting for me to speak. So they both sent letters, that's in the package, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
So I'm talking to the Nottoway County Emergency Squad request first. At the beginning of the fiscal year, the Nottoway County Emergency Squad came to us, or the board, talking about they had financial upsets, concerns and everything. They did request from the board to make $62,500 each month payment to them at the first to help with payroll and other expenses. Well, with the amount that we did allocate to them within the budget, we are going to be short by $210,000 if we continue to make the $62,500 payment each month through June. So if we pay for February, I think it's in March, we're off by $22,500. And then after that, we owe the $62,500 going forward.
So 2 months, 124.
That's still within the levy coffers, is it not?
The
The
revenue-
210,000.
The revenue and the expenses are within the tax levy, yes.
So it's not like it's,
Hold up, wait a minute.
to cover the payments for the revenue and the expenses. It's in the tax levy for that.
Yeah, but I mean, do we know that have we collected enough tax to cover it?
From, I think it was last,
Well, even if it's not collected, it's owed to us, so we're still going to positive balance side. So it don't matter, as long as it's owed to us and if enough money was allocated to it.
So just to be clear, they requested,
Follow what I'm saying,
we did
Steve?
not allocate,
True, that's right.
and I think that was a discussion that we had. We wanted to see what the future held. Were they going to provide two 24/7 squads? We haven't had any really
Have we determined that?
about that.
Yes.
They've done.
They are providing two 24-hour
Yes.
squads.
Okay. So they've done what we asked with this 62.5. Is that, you guys agree?
That's right.
But what I'm hearing Logan say is we've already agreed to the 62.5. Sounds like
Well, it's
some,
in the levy, but we didn't, in the budget line item, it only had like 500 and,
540,000, so we're still short by 210 to get them the 62.5 for
So
the
where's
remainder.
but
money coming from?
of the levy. But when that request came of 62.5, why wasn't it put in the line item 62.5 times 12? Why was it short $210,000?
Y'all voted
Y'all
on that
voted,
after
you told me to
budget was
cut back.
approved.
we wanted to see.
Point of clarification, all right.
You wanted me to balance the budget. And that's how we did it.
And also, it was at that time to see, y'all were gonna go to the meetings to see if they actually
Didn't know what-
needed the full
right.
fiscal year or not.
Right. The first payment came in June, and I had to get you allocated.
It's still within the levy money.
No, I mean-
Whether we've collected it or they owe on it, somebody owes taxes, we still got it within that $2.2 million. So it's not really taking no county money, new money, to fund this
Not
210,000.
having to move it from another department.
Exactly.
And you're not having to go into the general fund
That's
reserve.
exactly right.
Okay.
I'm not so sure about that because we did have to take some general fund, money to balance their budget,
So if
even
you
with
were,
the tax levy.
so if you were to ask for a
In
motion.
addition to the tax levy?
Yes.
Why?
Because we also included the emergency services budget underneath of it, and to pay for all of that, it's still short.
Yes.
So to answer my original question was, I'm not necessarily asking you this direct, Logan, but I said, is there enough money in the tax levy to accommodate this $210,000 request? And the answer I got, Steve, was yes.
Yeah, but.
Actually, the answer I got was it depends on how many people owe the taxes. As long as they owe it, it's still.
Okay, so we estimated revenue to collect our taxes, okay? It looks like we're collecting more than we estimated, but I don't know that number. She's going by that budget.
Right, that's all she's got to
That's
go
all,
by. Right, I
because we really
understand.
don't know what the treasurer's collecting.
But if she's going by that budget, are you factoring in, Logan, abatements? Because I'm understanding from talking to them that we've had a lot of abatements, which that's going to change our numbers.
No, actually, even if we've collected more, you still have to show an allocation being done for the extra 210 because we didn't approve it at
Because it
budget
wasn't a
time.
line item in the budget. It was 540 instead of.
540.
But hopefully, Bo, I'm hoping it will cover it. Now, I'm not saying both of these allocations are gonna cover it.
You mean the next one?
Right.
Yeah.
So then basically you telling me that the total request is over 2.2 million, because that's what I was told it was going in as tax levy for the emergency services and for the fire department.
Right.
That's just easy math.
And we're hoping that the number's gonna be a little bit
Less.
better than that.
Yeah, well, it'll be less.
All right,
Okay.
I got a question. Dickie and I have been talking about it because we own finance. And gentlemen in the audience and all of y'all that are emergency services and all related, this is no reflection to your efforts at all. I want to point out, the county runs on fiscal year, which Logan, all of us know, July to June. The emergency squad runs on calendar years that starts January to December. So the way we're wrapping it up, we've run through our fiscal year, but 2 of their calendar years, and it's jumping across. So it's hard to track the money. We can't sit up here and shoulda, woulda, coulda, not know what our numbers are, but my concern, and Dickie and I have been talking about this, we need a contract of some sort with everybody involved. We're putting out over $1 million, and we don't have a contract. of what the expectations are. And I've run into this in a job I had and something I'm working on elsewhere. You've got to have a contract. And I can defer
I would say,
to our lawyers.
yeah, but that's gonna be something that the emergency services need to work out, and I completely agree. And this was discussed last year. NCES has a contract with Fast C. Burkeville has contracts with Piedmont and some of the other facilities.
But they don't have a contract with us, and we're the one paying them all the money.
And that's what I'm saying, is it's certainly reasonable for us to have a contract. And so that is part of the budget negotiations, Mr. Hyde, and these requests. You know, time to have a contract.
We've discussed the contract.
But we'll
with
discuss, we'll discuss.
We've already discussed the contract with them.
Yeah.
And we discussed it as a board panel to have a contract with them. And the contract was to say that they have 2 ambulances fully serviced 24 hours a day.
But is it in writing?
No, but that'd be easy enough. We can get that done.
Well, I
With
mean,
the
I agree with Daphne, you know.
With the
What
appropriate
we,
staff.
what we giving these, departments is money they need, but it's taxpayer money. So we need to be able to tell the taxpayers, okay, we're giving the squad this amount of money for their services, and we've got a contract with them that this is the amount of money we're gonna give them. And if they want more, they're gonna have to come back to us. And I think, you know, with the fire department's the same thing. We you know, I do not begrudge 1 penny we give them. But if a taxpayer comes up here and says, why are y'all giving them this and that and the other, we need to be able to say, we got a contract with them, this is what they asked for, this is if we contract with them, and we can show them that. As opposed to saying, oh, well, we gave them money, but, you know.
And if we could track it somehow,
Yeah.
every month
It
or
just-
so,
it
and
just-
find out
it's-
where we're
With
at.
their-
It's
with their
good business
personnel,
is what
you
it
can see how many they have working.
That's it. That's a good way to
Is that
track
good?
it. Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, to your point, this, and I wasn't there for this, but we've had some of these discussions. Again, this is not an additional request from Nottoway County Emergency Squad.
It's finishing their request, because we cut them,
That's right, it's finishing their request. And,
so that's
Just-
J2,
right,
210,000. Anybody like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we increase what we already allocated by 210,000 to the Nottoway County Emergency Squad.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that's 5-0.
Yes, sir.
All right, Ms. Presley, J3, budget allocation, $222,500, Burkeville EMS.
I can speak to this a little bit. Burkeville Volunteer Rescue Squad is asking for an additional $222,500 to start payments February through the end of June. Can you help me?
Yeah, and my understanding is they originally asked for 195,000, Logan, I can't remember.
It was 135.
135, thank you.
Personnel.
But this is an increase because we wanted, the board wanted 24-hour service
From the 3rd ambulance.
for the 3rd ambulance.
And Burkeville was willing to supply that. Is that money in the tax levy call for to meet this request, Steve?
That'd be under the, is it 7 cents?
I haven't done the, yeah, I haven't done the math on that yet.
It's my intent, and John and I met on our meeting with the EMS, and we've had discussions just amongst John and I. The reason Burkeville is requesting this is they was already staffing an ambulance 50% of the time.
Right.
It may have been 7 days a week, only 12 hours a day, but it was 50% of the time. And the reason they're requesting this is to provide that service 100% of the time, the other 50%. What John and I have looked into and going to continue to look into is to see if Nottoway can staff a 3rd ambulance and let Burkeville go back to what they were doing so that they didn't need that money, and it would be easy on them to perhaps manage their EMS department within the fire department. Am I understanding, that's right, isn't it, John?
Yeah, it's just, it may be easier to simplify it. I know that they were using these funds to take care of capital expenses and stuff there, but it's
I think for the short fix, just opinion,
Right.
the short fix is, because they need the money now,
That's right.
is we get a motion for this with the intent that hopefully by the next time it don't come back.
All right, when
Then
you
we have
say,
it fixed by
when
then.
you say next time, we've got our budget session coming up.
That's right.
So let's set goals that they're supplying that third ambulance, they're doing it at our request. And so if we truly want to simplify this and just pay one agency, then that can be the goal for budget season, to talk to Nottoway and see if we can have them, and then Burkeville can go back to running their normal calls.
And they won't need the capital to do it when they go back to running their normal calls, 12 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Well, you're also gonna need to figure this, guys, and I said it last year. You need to figure without one penny of revenue recovery, because we have to have the coverage. It's $2.3 million to run 3 ambulances. Why do we need 3 ambulances? It's the volume of calls. We didn't do that. The EMS and fire departments didn't do that. The citizens need.
They required more.
And I've called them. I think we've all on here called the squad.
Yeah.
Us
Here
calling the
Just did it.
squad have dictated that we need 3 units, 24 hours a day.
Yep.
Okay.
That's our
We will have further discussion with
so
Burkeville to see how we
yeah.
iron that out,
Right.
if we need to do anything different, but
But I have another question.
Okay.
This all relates to covering their payroll costs because they want to run it under VRS. Our other funds, do they go to the town of Burkeville or do they go to the Burkeville Fire Department?
they have requested this money to go to the town of Burkeville, like you said. so
Just to cover the payroll?
Yes, in the town of Burkeville, which would actually be almost like a third-party entity that distributes the payment.
Pass through.
Right, so it'd be more verification, and it would enable them for VRS, correct?
So are
That
they
was the
going-
reason for it, so they
Yeah.
could do
Are they
VRS.
going to pay the additional cost for going to VRS? There's an application fee, there's fees to go to VRS. So this is just going to cover the payroll?
To my understanding, this just covers the payroll, right, Ms. Presley?
That's what's stated in the,
Yeah.
the request.
Okay. Logan, they've specified in this letter the dates they want payments. Can you do that? Or I thought you ran your bills, your checks, certain periods of time?
So with the Nottoway Emergency Squad, they usually send us an invoice, and usually it's by the 1st of the month. But sometimes we're not there on the 1st, or it might be 2 or 3 days, but we will run a payroll, not a payroll, the accounts payable batch to do.
Because I think the town of Burkeville needs to realize that they may cut checks and they may not have the money in the bank.
I had a discussion with one of the town council members of the town of Burkeville. I believe, the way I understand it, the Burkeville Volunteer Fire Department made a understanding with them that if more money is more money out there for VRS, then the fire department themselves would absorb that cost. I said, so you know that Burkeville's not gonna pay more money? He said, that's right, Burkeville's not gonna pay
So
more.
they were going to help them with any liquidity.
And again, going forward, since we're in budget session, we need a contract with each entity.
So the town of Burkeville.
That's right. All right, we've got a rule that at 10 o'clock, we can poll the board and continue, or we can continue the meeting. It's 10:10. Ms. Norton, do you wish to continue?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Toth?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Graham?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Rook?
Word.
Okay.
Certified.
I'll continue.
So getting back to the Burkeville EMS, I think the contract has to have a length, obviously, on it of what they're gonna
Well,
provide.
here's the
and
other
how
thing
long
about,
they're gonna do it.
the other thing about having the contract is if they fail to provide, the money's been allocated to them to provide a service. If they don't, then we've got the funds to call a contractor and say,
We need this service.
yeah, and we've got the funds.
And the next question is, and it'd be an attorney question, the contract now that the town of Burkeville is gonna distribute the payroll to the employees up there that's on the EMS, would the contract be between the fire department or the town of Burkeville or both?
I think we've discussed an MOU with Burkeville Volunteer Fire Department before. That was,
And the squad is not separate from them, that's part of the fire department.
Yes.
so I don't know if it was ever signed, but there is an MOU that we previously discussed with Burkeville Fire Department for this specific thing, I believe.
So to clarify, you're asking for MOUs with the emergency services, but you're not asking for an MOU for fire departments. The county don't own a fire department, we don't own an emergency squad. We don't own none of that stuff, so.
That's the problem. We're giving them all this money and we need something in writing.
That's what I'm asking though, I'm just clarifying. I mean, we're just not talking like Nottoway Emergency Squad or Burkeville EMS, we're also talking about the fire departments.
Well, it's a slippery slope. Do we need to get a contract with the sheriff and the schools?
Well, but the fire.
they're different. They're
But the
different.
fire stations, the fire stations aren't guaranteeing us particular things for money. We're making a donation to our volunteer fire departments to help them with their equipment, help them with their buildings. We're not saying you need to have Tower 6 on duty every Friday night.
That's true.
So they're working with our money to use it, and they use it in a fine fashion, take care of us. We're asking the squads to provide a particular service. That's the difference, I think, between contract and not contract.
Okay.
That sounds good to me.
Sorry, I pulled it up on my iPad. There was an MOU between the town of Burkeville and Burkeville Fire Department, which we reviewed.
That was in relation to distributing the funds.
Yes.
Yes, I remember.
And it involved the county giving the funds, but the county has no MOU. So I just wanted to clarify that. Sorry, the whole document.
And the reason it would have to be with the fire department is because their EMS personnel are firemen as well.
Yeah, so you do the MOU that they agree to pay their people with money received from
Town of
Burkeville that was reimbursed by,
No,
however you want to put it. But because we're asking for a particular service, then that's what triggers a contract.
I see Buddy stick his finger up. He might want to enlighten on a question.
Oh, God. Wait.
He said he can cut to the chase, he said.
Joey.
All right, here's the deal. We can document this thing to death. I've already written a contract, because we talked about this months ago. But we're waiting to see what we were going to do, with EMS. So it's 10 pages. So you don't need a MOU if you got a contract.
Yeah, we just have a contract.
You do the contract, and look, the contract isn't one of these simple, I'm buying a car from you type of things. It's got paragraphs in it, we've got models all over the country. There's contracts where EMS uses a fire station.
You've already done it. We're talking about something that's
Yeah, I've
already
already
done.
Yep, so we would like to see a copy
I've
of
already
it.
done it, but I need Catherine's help to
Well,
legalize
but we're gonna save a little bit of money maybe. You send it to each board member.
Yeah.
We review it first, and then we send it to the attorney.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, I don't charge anything.
All right.
Because you pay me.
I know, because you already get
Yeah.
paid.
So you
You
got
don't have to
built-in-
charge when you already
you
get
got a
paid.
built-in benefit.
That's right,
But
built-in
we
benefit.
need- But we need the
All right.
legal, because I'm not a lawyer.
But we
so-
want to look at it before we pay
Correct.
them to look at
Oh,
it.
yeah, absolutely.
Because I might
absolutely.
want to
But
take out a whole page.
I can get with Catherine at some point. But it's got like indemnification, paragraph, a training paragraph.
You know what, when you
write a
email it to us,
We're gonna see all
we're going
that.
to see that.
You're gonna see it, so I'm not gonna tell you all about it right
That's
now.
right, it's 10,
It's
15
simple.
now.
But I just wanted to pass it on, let's,
I got one foot turned into
Where's
a
my
boat.
I'm
glasses?
gonna reinvent the wheel here. Okay, I got you, Mr. Toth hiding.
No, I couldn't see that. I forgot my glasses on my head.
Have any questions? I'd love
Not
to.
send it to us.
Sir,
and we'll
thank
take a
you,
look.
sir. We'd
Thank
like
you,
to see
Logan.
that.
All right, so we're on J3. It seems to me the board had agreed to finish the new budget, and then we'll have contracts, everybody be in agreement, whether we're going with Nottoway County, that's all future discussions, but it seemed like the board wanted to go ahead and provide funding on J3.
Yes, so that they can operate. So I made the other motion. Somebody else's turn.
Second?
Wait a minute, it ain't been made yet, brother.
Who's
gonna make the motion?
222,500.
Ms. Norton, that's up in your neck of the wood. You want to make that motion?
To Burkeville,
Yes.
I will make a motion with reservation.
Okay. With reservation, do we have a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion passed 5-0. Ms. Norton's reservation on the motion. We already did IDA. Kind of already covered small business incubator once. Do we need to-
Yeah, no, we got a good idea, though. We got 7 empty rooms. We talked about this before, but maybe we could change the name of that.
I would say that there may.
That's not a bad idea.
you know,
Don't call it incubator, because it's not really an incubator.
Just-
That's what John, that's what you're
We had,
point
we had
off.
directed the towns to get the list together for the people that are maybe moving off of the base.
Right.
We can do the same thing. We've got some empty space that we didn't sell. Go ahead and use it.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, I'd like to fill that up.
I had a call from a service like that Pickett today, and that's kind of about what I told them.
Okay.
Because they don't want to lose the ground on feeding 200 families a
Let's
a
look
month.
at, y'all be thinking like changing the name.
Call it Nottoway Lanes.
Oh, my
Just call it a
All right.
All right, that's, but
small
anyway, Mr.
business
Chairman.
developer.
I could, yeah.
Development.
Late. All right, we've got our consent items. Did anybody go through their consent items and have any questions, make any notes, see anything funny?
Mr. Chairman, I move to pay the bills.
Got a first?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Ms. Norton, you want to speak to that? You and I talked about it. Somebody reviewing the bills?
Yes, Dick and I have talked about.
In your capacity, they're on the finance committee, so this is.
Logan, who reviews your bills?
If it's anything that's not out of the ordinary, like the utilities or something, if it's,
sign off.
maintenance looks over it, and then if it's more than 5,000, 3,000, he signs off on it.
I'll sign it off on it. We, just give you an example, we had to cancel 2 credit cards, right? Because of fraud. Logan, you can talk about that, but I review it and I sign off on it. If anything's out that doesn't look right, I don't sign off on it. We fix it.
Okay.
Was the credit card
But
fraud
if,
because
do y'all want the finance committee to sign off on it? It'd be fine.
I mean,
No,
the reason I'm asking is I'm on a committee that has bit us in the butt. And so we have somebody, and I've talked to different counties around, and almost all the board of supervisors in our surrounding counties have someone, they alternate months and they review the bills. There's no disrespect to who's doing the job, it's just something that they do as part of the audit
So they
process.
have a board member, and it's a rotating member that reviews the bills.
You go through, like I did the other day, for the committee I'm on, and you check to make sure the POs, the contracts, all the invoicing, everything is attached, and sign off.
And it's rotating because of that way nobody can collude with each other to steal.
Yes.
You know, I can see how that would cause me to be mind boggled. Because what Logan said is if it's out of the ordinary, then she presents it to Steve to look at for approval, to where if you have an alternating board member, he don't know what the ordinary is, or she.
Right.
But it's basically all the same. You have
if it's
to
like the
look.
ordinary?
You look, well, and then you ask Logan.
So you're,
So give you an example, Mr. Chairman, so she noticed on the credit card, there was somebody, it was charged on there for $59.88 for utilizing the white pages. So she calls everybody and then calls me and says, hey, she knows I ain't used the white pages, so she calls everybody else. And then,
So this last credit card statement, I noticed there was a white pages charge. It was $59.88. I know there's 2 people in the office that.
How much was it?
$59.88.
what's a
You
white
said
page? What's white?
15,000, Brother
No, I
Steve.
said- no,
What's
I
white
didn't.
page?
I didn't hear you correctly, I'm sorry.
White pages is where you can look up people's information on the internet. So like if you're trying to find somebody for collections,
Like a
you
skip
can try
trace?
and get their information.
Yeah.
And we do have people that utilize that in the office to find and help with collection processes. I asked the 2 people that usually utilize it if they did anything with it, if they charged anything. They both said no. So after I went to the 2 known people that use it, I went to everybody else in the department that has access to our card. Everybody said no, so I knew that that was fraudulent. Anything else, everybody else gives me if it's a credit card payment for anything, for either Buddy, our office, somebody puts their name and they put their general ledger code and they give it to me or put it in my box so I have documentation. If it's not a documentation with it, I do hunt you down to find out why or where it's at, and then we process the bills. I also noticed there's one that's called a PayFlow PayPal account that is charging like 80 cents, $2. It ranges each month, and it's been on there for about 2-3 months. I've contacted them to figure out why it's been on there, what it pertains to. Both times I called, they said they don't see an account, they don't have anything registered with us. And I was trying to see if it's like a merchant that we were using that's coming through PayPal. It's nothing other than Microsoft Office that we utilize that's kind of normal on there. And I know we don't use PayPal for Microsoft Office. So when I contacted about the white pages to get that refunded back to us and put it as fraudulent. So they've canceled both of those cards and they're supposed to send us a new one with new numbers and everything.
yeah, we don't have a credit card right now.
Correct.
So that makes you have to issue a check for something simple, I guess.
Yes.
All right.
Well, I agree with Bo that looking at something brand new, you're not gonna know something was wrong anyway. But over time, you would begin to learn it. Is your policy written down as far as credit cards and who can approve what? And is that a
Or it's
written
just a
policy?
known thing?
It's not a set policy. We don't have something we can just give to you and say, here's our policy. When the auditors came, there is something that they had typed up that they kind of generally put our processes on there. So Dawn is our fiscal assistant in the office. She's been doing bills. She asked me if there's anything out the ordinary, or we go to Steve about it. So we have a checks and balances between us and Steve.
If you guys could work in putting that in writing first so that this happens, the employees know
Yeah, you need to have the policies and procedures of the flow.
of how it flows.
What you're doing.
And that way, she doesn't make a mistake and doesn't realize that.
I know
made a
when I worked for the state, we would check off. You
Yeah.
just had that
So
flow and you would
I
check
turn my
off.
credit card in from my employer, it's got my receipts attached, and my boss signs it. And he looks to see what I spent.
And also, once we've processed the bills, each department that has been paid on that batch gets a report to show what amount, what vendor, and what line item it came out of. So when they're getting theirs, if there's a mistake
Do
in
they
the.
have to return, say I've reviewed?
No, they don't, but they do get it, and we do get contact if like there's a stroke error or something,
So
then they'll contact us.
they are doing a good job as far as
Yes.
checking. I would think, make sure that it's in writing so the employees know how to.
I like to see 2 or 3 employees that's already in the office versus one of us having to come up here, take care of that stuff. And then, like for instance, if there was some embezzlement go on, it wouldn't be on one employee. You get to lock 2 or 3 of them up. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause it'd be a collusion at that point,
Well, you gotta have collusion to be successful, it's that.
but not on
It
this deal.
it fits audit principles, Dick and I have talked, and I've always had a problem signing off on a consent calendar because it's already been paid.
It's been paid, and, I look at things and it doesn't, some of it I recognize, some of it I don't. All right, we did have a resignation, so we do want to recognize Mr. James Oliver. He served on the IDA committee. I want to first thank you for the opportunity of being a part of the IDA committee. It has been a privilege and honor to be selected. I have decided to step down from the committee for personal reasons. I wish nothing but success to the committee as it strives to improve Nottoway County. Ms. Kelly, thank you as well. You're one of the nicest individuals I've ever had the opportunity to encounter. Thank you much. Much success to you as well.
Smile.
That was very nice.
It wasn't nice.
Mr. Oliver made the paper for being in the all-district team in 1985. I don't know if y'all saw his picture or not.
Oh, yeah, okay.
County Administrator, what would you like to report?
Just another report, just a quick question. I think I'm asking the question, Logan is putting out RFPs now for an auditor for Nottoway County. Do you want her to take it a little further and put out RFP and see if we can find an auditor for Nottoway Emergency Squad?
Yes.
Yes.
I think with the request of money tonight, I think that's, yes.
Do you want to do that for both? If Nottoway Emergency Squad says you're going to audit me, you know what they're going to tell me?
They
Well,
worry
Mark,
about, they need to worry about them. We'll worry about who we
The
are.
other ones has been getting the money in a shorter period of time, so if we equal the time out at that time, we'll get audited on them.
All right, but right now, concentrate on Nottoway Emergency Squad.
Yeah.
I think they'll be okay with it. They said they'd want to come out that budget.
That's fine. It's just,
Okay, so I'll give you some pricing. I'll be letting you know about it.
that's been the citizens' question since we started funding now. And if they see we start funding Burkeville and the citizens start to question that, then we'll certainly honor our citizens' request.
Mr. Chairman, that's all I have tonight. Thank you.
Mr. Administrator, I don't know that you need a forensic audit. I don't think you need a $25,000 audit. I think we discussed before a $6,000 or $8,000
Some in
audit.
that neighborhood. I got you. And I understand that. Okay.
Preferably 4.
Get 2 be even better. I'll do it for $1,500.
All right, we'll keep you informed.
Vice Chairman Toth. Any comment?
Yeah, just a little bit. I see tonight reminding me, seeing these folks up here reminding me of the biosolid issue, except the place was full in here, it was full there, and it was full on down the sidewalk and underneath the porch out there. So the biosolid had a whole lot more importance at that time than what solar seems to have today. But what's important to one person is just as important if it's 100 people. So I respected everybody that came out in support of solar and opposition of solar. I felt like me individually, I done the best thing as a property rights person. And these setbacks are gonna be addressed further, but I've received several text messages that said the 1,200 foot was unclear, but the 1,200 foot will be clear. And if they have to go with less megawatts to stay within 1,200 foot of a habitable dwelling, then so be it. The plan that we accepted tonight clearly spelled out 1,200 foot and 75 foot from adjacent property owners. So I think this meeting took too long in the second half, so I ain't gonna say no more.
Mr. Ingram?
I was glad to see the folks come out. Majority of them from my district, and I know what the people in my district want, and you heard them tonight. I don't think but one person would have lived in my district spoke for, well, maybe two, spoke for it. Everybody else was against it. If you ride through my district, you'll see the signs. Say no to solar, to industrial solar. They don't want it in their area. You've heard the comments that they made. I've been listening to them. They've been telling me, you know, different things. You know, anybody can say anything about, well, I've done the research and blah, blah. The people that were talking to me tonight were the ones who were saying, I don't want to have to walk out my door and look at this. I bought my property. I've got my farm here. This is what I want to have here in my area. And if you go, I don't know how many people have been out to that. You know, I hear people talking about this, but they have not been out and looked at where this thing is going. There are four roads. You got Mallory Hill, which was talked about today, goes down to the Little Nottoway River. You've got Robertson Siding Road. You've got how they came up with the name of Rocky Ford Road, I don't know. And then you got Lone Pine Road. There are four roads. There are three streams that are affected by this. You got the Mallory Creek, which runs down and goes into the Little Nottoway River. You've got Lazaretto, which is the town of Cruz water supply going down to Nottoway Pond. And then you got the Little Nottoway River. So you're looking at, and it's spread out all over everywhere. It's not just, you know, people say, oh, it's 1,300 acres. They think it's in one spot. It's not in one spot. It's all over the place. And 240 some adjoining landowners. And then they said, we don't want to have to get waivers from them. And then they start talking about 75 feet and less than 1,200 feet from a home. My wife said, be nice, be nice. I'm done.
Bless your wife's heart. Thank you. It's very hard for us to please both sides all the time, and I'm not gonna try to.
Mr. Norton?
You know, with everything that goes on in the world today, I love you all. God bless you all. I hope that everything for everybody, if it's not where it needs to be, I hope it starts trending to where it needs to be. And at the end of the day, I hope I made somebody smile tonight.
Ms. Norton?
I didn't know the timing during the presentations, but I do want to read to the general public. I did send an email to the town manager of Crewe and the mayor of Crewe. I forwarded them the draft of the ample form siting agreement, and I hadn't seen that copy very long, but I wanted to make sure they saw it. And I wanted an official statement from the town of Crewe regarding the project, considering the town's only water source, as Dickie mentioned, is a key component within that topography. This is my response from Philip Miskovic, the town manager. Thanks for your email. Council has taken no position on this issue. They've reiterated the stance when asked by the solar company for a resolution of support. Solar projects regulated by DEQ, neither DEQ nor any of the engineers we work with have expressed any concerns about the project, though our engineers are not familiar with the details beyond what was provided by the solar company. If a subject matter expert can provide data on a high probability of risk for this project, project, adverse impacts to the water supply following a similar project with comparable plans and safeguards or any other new relevant data-driven information, council will consider its non-position. So I wanted the public to be aware of that, since I do represent Crew. They have been involved and they have no position. We have poured over this document, well, not just this document, but the entire project a long time. And it boils down to, it's all about the money. And my position is, it needs to be about the citizens too, but we're caught in the middle and everybody knows that, all about the money. So I have challenged our chairman, Mr. Collins, and I called him the other night, and he and I are going visiting in the next couple of days. And we're going down every road that Dickie mentioned, and we're going to visit people. I want Mr. Collins to visually see with his eyes who's going to be affected.
I went down them roads, and it's more than about the money for me, but that's got a lot to do with it's about property rights.
Mm-hmm.
So that we live in a communist country and we tell people what they can and can't do with their real estate. If they own it, they ought to do what the hell they want to do with it.
Okay.
Providing.
You interrupted me once again.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Once again.
I'm sorry.
Anyway,
You're already doing it.
Everybody's got passions both ways. I was impressed tonight because we had a lot of subject matter experts. We heard from outside the county how it's helped and growth. It's a huge decision. And either way, we are damned if we do and damned if we don't.
Well, damn it. Yeah, I agree with that, 100%.
Now your turn.
I'm
Go
finished.
ahead.
I already had my turn.
You can have my turn.
Nope, I don't want
All right, I always appreciate when the courtroom is full of folks, and we had them up against the walls tonight, and that tells me that people are engaged and they care about their county, and they care about what this board does and our decisions, and that makes it a lot better. Mayor, like as Bo said, you can't please everyone, but I don't like to make a decision and then hear about it the next day when nobody was in this room. So we had a good room. I really appreciate that. I am not a solar fan, but I'm also not a person that likes to raise taxes 20% the 2 years that I've been on this board. We've done a really good job cutting. We're still cutting, still trying to make this government smaller, have things that are not our core services go away. And so we're still working on that. If this project goes through, the dramatic effect on the tax rate in regards to the courthouse build, it's amazing, the difference in what could have happened to the county and what maybe won't happen if this project goes through. And as you know, this is not a done deal. This was for step one. So I appreciate everyone, appreciate all my board members. We had lots of phone calls and talking, and we talked to John yesterday. He said, "You still in me?" I said, "I just got to my last one. It was like 8 o'clock." He said, "I said, just talk to me on the way home. We'll talk." So then lots of just talk and trying to figure this out. So I appreciate everybody, and with that, I'll take a motion.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, stand up.
I did not mean to cut you off, sweetheart. I promise. No, I didn't. I would never do that to you. I'm not
I was not born disrespectful.
He's passionate.